Hello. This is YouTube. I forgot that I wasn't streaming for a sec. Hello. Um this is N2O from the Lantern Discord, and per recommendation from Lantern Discord members, I am going to do a quick analysis of the league that I just went through. I was able to get a 4-1 on an MTGO league, which is a big achievement for me because most of the time that I like when I've been playing traditional lists recently, I've been bombing out like 0-4 drop kind of things. So, um, last league that I did with this list went like I think it was a 2-3. I made some adjustments. I do think I got a little bit lucky during the league, but went beyond positive. It's almost a 5-0, and I think that there's arguments that the match that I did lose, if we had played more games over time, I think it was still a favorable matchup for me. But we'll get there. So, I will. I'm not super familiar with the YouTube tools. I will timestamp this on upload the best that I can. I'll just try and get this all done in one chunk if I can, and then if I don't, then I can just stitch it together later. That's fine. Um, no script. We're going in raw. So, first thing that I'm gonna do is show you guys the deck list that I'm running. Because not a lot of people are running Whir right now. Most people are running the Golgari traditional style lists. So it'll be good for people to see what the differences in the deck are. So I'm not going to go over the Lantern basics. I'm going to assume that most people that are seeing this for the first time are familiar with the deck archetype. I will link the Lantern Discord in the description of this video as well if people want to join and get a gist for things. I don't recommend this be your first Lantern list. I think the black-green is just easier. And it's more consistent anyways. I've just been having a lot of fun with this list, and for some reason when I play Whir lists, I do better. So I don't know if that means that it's a better archetype necessarily, but my brain works better when I'm playing Whir. So, namesake card here. Why are we running a bunch of islands in this mono black deck, pretty much, instead of running Assassin's Trophies? So, War of Invention lets you, or costs triple blue and X. It's an instant and has improvise, so you can tap your artifacts to help pay for the generic costs of the spell. And then you get to search your library for an artifact with mana cost X or less, put it on the battlefield, and then you shuffle. So, Whir gives you redundant effects of all of the artifacts in your deck. So all of these cards right here you can tutor for with Whir. It gives a lot of redundancy in a way. Like Saga does this as well, and Saga is extremely powerful. But having extra copies in the deck to just say, your opponent was able to disrupt you and you're on turn 4 and you need a lantern because you don't have a bridge and your opponent feels like they're in a position where they're lantern locked, so they try and I don't know, prismatic ending your lantern or something. They kill your lantern. Then you have a Whir of Invention, you can fill that lantern. If they decide to pop your Codex Shredder, you can go ahead and grab a Codex Shredder. If you're in post-board games and you need like a Grafdigger's Cage for Graveyard Hate, then you can go and tutor that as well. So it's very powerful. It's super versatile. The only problem is the mana cost. It costs triple blue. That's pretty demanding. So if we go into the mana base here, a lot of the utility lands that you'd see in traditional Lantern don't exist. Urza Saga is just too good to pass up, so we're running those anyway. But there's no Fomori Vault. There's only one Mycosynth Gardens. I added this recently. I wanted to kind of push to see how many non-blue lands I could run in a deck, and so I think one Mycosynth Gardens is a nice hedge. You might be able to get away with two. I was testing one Fomori Vault and one Gardens, and every time that I drew that Fomori Vault, I was so sad because I couldn't cast anything in my hand properly. There is also a Talisman in here to try and cover that steep blue cost in the deck. Other than that, this is a mono black list. You see here that there's 4 Thoughtseizes, there's 3 copies of Duress, so 7 discard, and then there's also an 8th discard spell with 1 Inquisition. I had deck slots. There's a lot of combo running around, so I feel like having 8 discard spells instead of 7 was just, a good idea. I don't have a good reason for it. I just tested it out this league, and I feel like I like it. There is a single Bloodchief's Thirst in the deck. One of the issues that you have without access to Assassin's Trophy is that things like Planeswalkers and utility creatures are hard to deal with. If you can't lock them out with a needle, then you're kind of screwed. So Bloodchief's Thirst is the Assassin's Trophy of the deck. I was running 2 of these as well because they kind of act as fatal pushes. For aggro decks. But with Modern Horizons 3 coming out, there's a lot of people testing out deck lists where Bloodchief's Thirst just feels like it's... I'm trying to get it out of my hand for the Ensnaring Bridge more than actually casting it and feeling good about it. So I cut it down to 1. It is still necessary, but I don't feel like it's super good right now. So again, one of the good things about Whir is that I can run a bunch of utility artifacts. So what kind of utility artifacts am I running? That's a lot of this, or that's what's in this pile right here. So you can tutor for a talisman if you want. That's very rare, but let's say that you're stuck under a Harbinger of the Seas or something, and you need some black mana, then Talisman of Dominance will do that for you. If you have a hand of all islands, then you can Talisman for some black mana if you think like you're gonna need to Thoughtseize later or something. So it's a nice hedge. Normally you just want to draw it naturally. It doesn't really make sense to Whir for it, but I have had occasions where I just wanted to cast an extra Whir in my hands to get it out of my hand, and I thought ramping would be the best way to solve my problem of having 2 Whirs and a bridge in my hand against burn or something, and that was or some aggressive deck. So it does come up. Spellskite is a great option. Being able to flash this in at instant speed with Whir is really funny. And it answers instant or like it answers leyline bindings. It answers a prismatic ending. You just have to make sure that the target is legal for Spellskite as well as whatever you're trying to protect. So, for example, an Ensnaring Bridge can get hit by Haywire Might, but Haywire Might specifically exiles non-creature artifacts and enchantments. So Haywire Might cannot hit a Spellskite, so you can't redirect the ability from Bridge to Spellskite. But there's a lot of removal running around that Spellskite is able to blank, and it acts as a 0/4 body. That 0/4 body is no joke. Against aggressive decks, being able to block like a Swift Spear for a turn, or a Goblin Guide, and have your opponents waste a burn spell on the Spellskite instead of you is still pretty powerful. Actually, quick note here before I continue. I will talk about this Disruptor Flute, but it was in the sideboard when I did this league. I did flip that after the league, so I'm just going to throw it there for now. I'll post the deck list on my Moxfield link as well. That will live update as I continue to make changes, so it might be different than what I'm going over in this current list, but I will link it in the YouTube as well for people that haven't seen it yet. Other things, Pithing Needle is standard. Underworld Cookbook is standard. Inmost Lantern List, same thing with Grafdigger's Cage. So those are all things that you should have seen before. The Vexing Bauble is something new. I tested out one in tournament practice over the last few days, and I have really liked it. It feels to me like another version of Grafdigger's Cage, where you just run it in your main board because you blank enough of your opponent's deck where it just passively is useful. Having extra artifacts laying around for Whir to improvise is really useful as well. And even though Vexing Bauble does kind of splash back and hurt you because it counters your own Mishra's Baubles and Profane Tutors if you run them. This list used to run Profane Tutors. This is my first version without them, actually. Even though it can... it has some non-synergies with your own deck. Oh, it also counters Surgical, by the way. But even though it has some non-synergies in the deck, you can just crack it. You can just draw a card. If you see in your current board position that Vexing Bauble is doing nothing for you, then you can just get rid of it by drawing a card. That's a pretty good floor. So I was running one. I was pretty happy. I drew it a lot in my testing, actually. So that was good. But I liked it enough where I bumped it up to 2 copies. I'm running Surgical because this is a heavy combo meta, and I just want to be able to answer some faster decks. There's a lot of graveyard stuff running around too, so just having Surgical just to, limit your opponent's valuable options or reduce their clock if you like Thoughtseize a creature, then you can, Surgical's been around in Lantern lists for a while, but I would argue that it's in a good place in the current meta. And it does come up in some of the games that we go over here. In the sideboard, we'll go over the sideboard really quickly here. Nihil, Spellbomb, and Soul Guide Lantern are a common pair for Graveyard Hate in Lantern lists right now. This should be pretty standard if you've been playing Lantern in the past, like 3 to 6 months. I think this has been pretty standard. I haven't really been a part of the Discord for more than the past month, so I can't really speak beyond that. But since I've been around, these have been cemented as common Urza Saga tutorable Graveyard Hate options. The Fatal Push is going to be my third copy of Collective Brutality, so we'll skip down here. Collective Brutality is also kind of a staple. Like Thinker really loves to use this for anti-burn, anti-prowess. This is a discard effect that you can use against control decks. It answers a lot more than you would expect in the meta, and it helps dump your hand to bridge if you're playing against aggressive decks too. So if you are keeping a 7-card hand, sometimes that can be an issue if it's like a 3 to 4 land hand against burn, because if you draw an extra land, then your hand cannot be empty until turn 4 or 5. Your opponent can swing through a bridge. So Collective Brutality helps pretty much every way imaginable for that. I think 3 is a bit much for the matchups that I've been playing against, and Collective Brutality doesn't fight things like Domain Aggro, and it can't hit like creatures like Tamiyo, the new flip Tamiyo. So I like having a Fatal Push just because it's a 1-mana answer to things, and I was worried that my curve would get too high here if we sort this by mana value. This 2-drop slot, or like there's seven slots that cost 3 or more mana. Traditional Lantern doesn't have this many slots in the 3+. Normally you only have the Ensnaring Bridges, and then you have like Profane Tutors in the 2 slot and the trophies in the 2 slot. So I was a little bit nervous that I'd be a little too top heavy, so I'm running 2 of these and 1 Fatal Push. Curse Totem, I'm only running 1 of right now just because, well, first off, I can tutor it with Whir. So, and I haven't really felt like I've needed it that much. 1 feels like a good number to have in a Whir list. It may even be possible that people stop boarding Curse Totem altogether in the future in traditional lists. It is very good against Yawgmoth still, but like Nadu, it does hit some stuff in Nadu, but it doesn't hit a ton. And a lot of the other combo decks running around don't really care about Curse Totem, so that might go away. Damping Sphere is super common in sideboards. It hits Amulet, it hits Tron, it hits the new Ruby Storm decks, or just Blue-Red Gift Storm. It's very good. It's a very versatile answer. I've tested out running it in the main board as a 1-of because it's a good Whir tutor, but I think it's a better sideboard slot than a main board slot. As Amulet continues to get popular after people stop brewing around with stuff, then maybe Damping Sphere goes into the main board again as a 1-of, but we'll see. Disruptor Flute is really nice because it's a 2-mana Whir target, and it's a Pithing Needle with upside. It has Flash, so if you need to surprise your opponent when they cast something, then you can do that. It also taxes your opponent. So if there's spells, like I was talking with Nayarian in the Discord today, you can play this against like Ruby Storm and just name one of the rituals, and then all of a sudden their mana accelerant is useless until they get to unless they have like 3 cost reducers. Soulless Jailer is in response to Ruby Storm. This is a new addition to the deck. I think some people are testing this out in traditional as well. It also answers Cascade spells. I don't know if the deck really needed more answers or to like Living End and stuff, but it's there. Stonebrain is for combo. Necromantra is another card that's pretty common for that. That's pretty standard. People have been talking about Stonebrain for a while. This is a word tutor as well. So like all of the things up here, plus or like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 1-ofs in the sideboard that Whir can target or can tutor up, and 7 of those options are 2-mana artifacts. Or sorry, 6 of these options are 2-mana artifacts that only Whir can search. So a lot of these options are, I feel like, better in Whir lists than in stock Lantern. Torpor Orb has a lot of utility. It didn't come up this league at all, but like against Death and Taxes, like they have so many ETB abilities that it matters a lot. It goes in against Amulet Titan because it stops Titan triggers. If you have a bridge out, then Titan is worthless. It stops the Arboreal Grazer, although normally they're playing that turn 1, so you may not get any mileage out of the Torpor Orb there. But it's been very useful to me. I've had many situations where I just boarded in a Torpor Orb because it just seemed useful, and it was. Feed the Swarm is a necessary evil in blue-black. This is an answer to Leyline of Sanctity. Sometimes I will board this in to fight aggressive creature decks. So like sometimes I'll board it in against like Death Shadow. There's a lot of Nethergoyf decks running around where a Feed the Swarm is really nice to have, just as an option to kill creatures. So it does that job, but it also can attack Leyline of Sanctities, and it can attack Roiling Vortexes as well. The deck has no other answers to that other than discard and Lantern locking people. Last two cards we're going to talk about are some War of the Spark Planeswalkers. Narset is an answer to One Ring, or to the One Ring. I did take this. I'm not really sure if Narset deserves a spot. We'll have to see how the meta shakes up. Even some of the decks that I would board this in, like Indomitable Creativity, like they're running less Fable of the Mirror Breakers, and they're running more like Glimpse the Impossibles, things that exile instead of drawing extra cards. So Narset is of questionable utility in the future. But One Ring control decks are also testing out Brain Geyser, or like Wizards Control is testing out Brain Geyser. So the card draws, the fact that you can stop your opponent's draws can be useful in some matchups. I decided to put it back in this list. I don't think it came up in this league. Ashiok is an all-star. Excuse me. Ashiok preventing your opponents from searching is super relevant right now. There's a lot of Nadu piles running around that the blocking their Court of Callings is super important. Blocking Urza Saga is super important. Blocking fetches if your opponent stumbles on mana or if they're a 4 or 5 color mana base. It shuts down Wrenn and 6's value engine if they're trying to loop fetches over and over again because their lands don't do anything anymore. And a lot of people are really greedy with Wrenn and 6 keeps. There's not a lot of Wrenn and 6 running around, but it's still nice to have this. And then there's a lot of graveyard decks running around too, so being able to exile graveyards. Ashiok gets boarded in constantly in this league, and it's very useful. Oh, I should have brought some water. I have a little bit. Oh, hello.
Howdy.
Hi. How long have you been here for?
A little bit. I came in when you started talking about Torpor Orb.
Oh, awesome. This is thnkr.
Howdy.
I am recording. I turned on the recording, so. Yeah, I need to get some water. Yeah, the streaming mode on my computer, or on Discord, that doesn't tell me when people hop into the call, so that was a surprise. I was like, all right. So that's the deck tech. I will timestamp it in the YouTube. I will go to the first. Yeah, this is the first one. So yeah, feel free to talk as well. I am probably not going to explain my deck 100% correctly because I'm still learning, but at least the games will be on the YouTube as well. So if you have questions, then questions are important.
Wow.
So actually I'm going to turn you up a little bit as well. So this is the, I believe I keep this. Yeah, I keep this. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd hope so. 3 lands with an Urza Saga. I have the Lantern Lock. I have Discard. I have the Bridge. This is literally everything you could ever ask for. So this is really nice. My opponents are super friendly for the first 3 games as well. It's super awesome. But so let's take a look at this hand. I'll try and leave this blown up as much as possible. I learned that you can actually pop these out in side boxes, which is nice. So my opponent's playing some kind of graveyard value strategy. I don't think I saw any Vengevines, but it's a Vengevine adjacent list. So they're running the Chthonian Nightmare. They're running Stitcher Supplier. This is a free roll. This is a free roll type matchup. So Duress is going to take the Chthonian Nightmare here. Flare of Malice does nothing in this matchup. The Nightmare can at least do something, but honestly, they could have all of these cards. I'm not super concerned. Actually, I can take what's going on in there. I'm kind of curious what's in their graveyard. I didn't really pay attention in the game. Oh, it's one of those Satoru lists. Okay, that makes sense. Because when you recur stuff with a Chthonian Nightmare, you get to draw cards off Satoru, so it's a really grindy value engine. Just kind of click through. I don't think there's anything super interesting that happens this game. I'm gonna have the Urza Saga tick up, and it's just gonna find a cage, and I think they concede soon afterwards. But okay. They're running Geralf's Messenger, which is an interesting choice. So I'm not really sure what value loop that they're gonna get out of this, but I'm sure there's a way for them to loop this a lot.
How's that Nightmare enchantment work? I forget.
You sacrifice a creature, and then you pay X energy, and then you can reanimate something. Oh, I see. So they can just sacrifice this for good and then bring it back later. Okay. And then
so, yeah.
and then the messenger makes the target opponent loses 2 life. So that's just a value drain kind of thing. That makes sense. Even if they can't do like a Yawgmoth style undying loop, then they're still getting a lot of value. I end up milling my Whir of Invention here. They have a Stitcher's Supplier on the other side of the table. I have an Urza Saga that's going to tutor up a 1-drop. I can't cast the Whir. So it's just better in the graveyard. No need for it. That does happen in this deck sometimes, where you just mill your own Whir of Inventions. It feels kind of bad, but it's fine.
I mean, at this point, you're already winning, so...
Yeah, exactly. It's not too bad in this situation. But... yeah, and they just scoop it up here. Oh, what did I tutor? Did I tutor a Lantern? I must...
no, you tutored a Grafdigger's Cage.
Oh, there's the cage.
Yep.
I'm blind. It's right there. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Nice and simple game 1. Going to game 2. I can see what I sideboarded here. So there's a Soul Guide Lantern, there's a Nile Spellbomb. I'm gonna have to pull up a list. Hold on. I don't remember what my sideboard is. Ashiok is in, Soul Guide Lantern, Nile Spellbomb. That might be it.
You get the Vexing Bauble in.
Yeah, there's one Vexing Bauble still in the deck. I think that's mostly just because I didn't have anything else to board out. What did I board out? There's one Bauble gone. There's one Cookbook gone. Yeah, and there's a Vexing Bauble. And a Spellskite. So there's a 4th inclusion. What did I put in? Oh, Soulless Jailer. Soulless Jailer's in as well.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
So, yeah, I was just trimming stuff.
Yeah.
I figured...
I could see taking the Bauble out, the Vexing Bauble, for the Torpor Orb.
That's true for the Geralf's Messenger, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a note.
Game Stitcher Supplier or something.
Yeah, and in Stitcher Suppliers, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
But I mean, you won anyway, so.
Yeah, yeah. Did I leave the cookbook on?
Oh, that's a good starter.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, the Grafdigger's Cage. I think I apologized to him. This dude was super nice. I was like, last game oh yeah, that's right. They get rid of the cage. I do wonder, because I did do a Mold of 6 here. I bottomed the land. I wonder if maybe there's a universe where I bottom the cage so that I can't get discarded, and then I can just turn one Saga and pull it out later.
Did the opponent show discard last game? I don't remember.
I don't think they did, but I think it's safe to assume that like there's a lot of combo running around, so even if it's not in the main board, people might be boarding it in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So I don't know. Um, Either way, Lantern Lock is going to be assembled soon. I don't know. This deck seems slower. I don't know if a turn 1 Urza Saga was necessary. Like if I'm playing against Dredge, I'm always playing Saga on turn 1. But this might be a little hasty.
And you're on the draw as well, so.
Yeah, so being on the draw, I guess, means that I want to be a little bit faster to catch up, but I don't know. But Bauble and Pixis on turn 1 are going to help me dig, which is good. Lantern will come down next turn. Just kidding. So on the bright side, well, I guess they don't run scam in this. if they were to scam, I would have blanked it. But so they're gonna play a Disruptor Flute here. I don't remember what I think they name, or we'll see. I shouldn't spoil the replay. I'm just gonna go through my activated abilities in case they name Pixis. There's a River of Tears on top. I really don't want that. I have enough lands. And they name Urza Saga.
Interesting.
Which
I think that was the wrong thing to name.
If this was a turn 2 Saga, then I could see it, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make constructs off this.
I think they probably should have named Bridge.
That's true, they could tax Bridge. Oh yeah, probably a mistake to name Saga. It's been a while since I played against Lantern, yeah. I was oh, you know what? I was really nervous. I will chat this eventually, but I was really nervous that they were gonna name Polluted Delta because they saw my hand.
Ooh, yeah.
That would have been really, really bad for me. Yeah, in the chat, I tell them that. Yeah. But anyways, I get to Bauble and Pixis again for a turn. I reveal a Vexing Bauble, which is just a redraw anyways, so I didn't see a point in exiling it with the Pixis. So I pull out a Lantern here. With the Urza Saga. Their graveyard is really sparse and they're really low on cards in hand, so their graveyard engine isn't working properly. My Pixis isn't feeling the graveyard anyways, so I just figured establishing a Lantern Lock when they have no pressure on me whatsoever is probably the right play. So.
And you do have the Thirst in case they do land a creature.
Yeah, I have the Bloodchief's Thirst as well. So, life is good right now. I've got plenty of draws. I've got Polluted Deltas as extra fetches. I'm trying to get better about not automatically cracking these. I'm slowly getting better at that. There's the Chthonian Nightmare. And there's a Codex Shredder on top, which is really nice too. You can tighten the lock. There's Codex Shredder. Did I forget to play my fetch land?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that in game. Oops. I did want to get rid of the blood gas just because if I don't have a bridge, it just will go around forever.
Yeah.
The Bloodchief's Thirst doesn't do anything. Yeah. And they don't have a lot of answers to a bridge in the deck anyways. Like I think I have time as long as I just answer their value engine. I can just sit here and wait for something like a Whir of Invention to come along.
Yeah, that looks like they don't have. And do they have any cards left in hand?
They have 3 cards in hand.
And they didn't play a creature.
Yeah.
I'm guessing a Grief, maybe?
I suppose, but oh yeah, they only have 3 mana here, and they can't pitch cast it because the Bauble.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the point where I have a Whir of Invention, so I'm just gonna... I don't know why I only fetched once here, but...
Maybe to shuffle away your top so you can fix this if you need to.
Yes, probably. Actually, let's see. Do I fix this here? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. There's another Geralf's Messenger on the top anyways.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it'll probably be fine though, because you can just Whir.
yeah, I figured it'd be fine for them to draw it, and I kind of want them to cast it anyway, which they can't right now, because of this Phyrexian Tower. Because they could just reanimate it with a Nightmare.
So they might also have another messenger in hand.
Yeah, that's true. Either way, end step, this Whir is going to tutor a bridge. I have just enough to do it. So we'll find the bridge. Yeah, the Soulless Jailer. My deck was in tune with me today.
Yeah.
I think this is my first time actually casting a Soulless Jailer.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. I like the utility it provides. After playing with Spellskite for a little while, like the 0/4 body is a really nice stat line too. Like 4 toughness is really good to have. Alright, they draw another Grief, and I think they see the writing on the wall here. Like two Lantern pieces here against a deck with minimal interaction to a Ensnaring Bridge is kind of a death sentence. So they concede. They were chill though. I appreciate Mr. Dies to Doomblade. I hope he did well in the rest of his league. The next game is a little bit more interesting, I think. They're very fast games, but I guess, well, before we start, was there any notes from the last series, or I think it was kind of just it was a pretty one-sided game, or 2 games.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I don't know if there's any real notes to have there other than maybe boarding in the Torpor Orb in game 2. Maybe. But, yeah. I think I mulligan this. I guess while we're here, we can just take a look really quickly. Yeah, this doesn't have enough going on, I don't think. Whir of Invention here is kind of a trap, because it's not going to do anything for a while. I don't have a guaranteed way to cast it either, mana-wise. Well, I guess I technically do after turn 4, but this hand will be clunky, I think. So, oh well, I keep it anyway, so we'll see if that happens.
Well, yeah, I see the bridge in the saga, and my head is like immediate keep.
That's true. That's true. Well, so that's a Sacred Foundry and a Lava Spike. So playing against Burn. Why are these so blurry? I know they kind of look smeared in real life, but why is it like that online? I hope that doesn't mean my eyes need to get checked. I've had good eyesight so far. The rest of my family's got glasses. I avoided that. But okay, so I see Burn. I have a slow, clunky hand. So I figured that going turn 1 Saga for Cookbook was the way to go here.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I'm getting better about doing turn 1 Sagas when applicable. Because before that was just a never do it kind of thing. But there are times where it's valuable. So
the heck?
they kept a 1-lander with a lot of 2 mana burn spells apparently.
How many cards in hand?
They have 6.
Okay.
So I assume that their hand was pure gas as long as they drew a land.
And they don't know what you're on yet. So they might be holding up like a bolt or something.
That's true. That's true. They could be holding up a bolt.
Well, it seems like that turn 1 saga is gonna hopefully pay off.
Yeah, we just talked about that. Yeah. Oh, nice. Right. Lantern.
So I'm just running out of lantern. Yeah, there's the bolt you were talking about. Yeah. So. And they have a lightning helix on top, so their struggles are going to continue.
Oh man, these look really good now.
Yeah. And a Searing Blaze.
Oh, that's so
bad. I should have cracked the Bauble here. I skipped through it, I think, by mistake. But
I mean, it's more Whir stuff.
Mm.
if needed.
Yeah, I don't know how much that really matters right now.
Yeah. Yeah, their life's bad for my opponent here, so. Yeah, so Cookbook comes out off the Saga. Another Saga's deployed. I'm gonna cast a bridge here. I'm at 13 life. They're drawing a dead card. Yeah, and then they throw in the towel after that. They see the writing on the wall. So that was game 1. I'll take a free game against on the draw against Burn. That
Oh,
feels
yeah.
good. So things to board in. The collective brutalities came in.
Oh yeah.
100%. Fatal Push came in as well, because that's my 3rd collective brutality in this deck. What else is in here? I don't expect much more. Feed the Swarm went in as well.
Yeah.
To
I
answer
can see an
Roiling.
argument for Jailer.
What, to turn off like Rift Bolts?
It turns off Rift Bolts and it blocks Goblin Guides and whatnot.
Yeah, it is a blocker. That's one of the reasons
Uh,
I leave Spellskite in.
Oh,
Is
yeah, yeah.
because it's a blocker.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess there's an argument for that. I try and board in as few 2-drops as possible, just so that I don't bump up the curve of the deck.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see here, like, I board out a Whir of Invention. That's something that I feel like is really... It feels correct against Burn, because there have been games where I die to Burn because I have a Whir and a Bridge in hand, and I can't get rid of both of them in time.
Yeah.
So that's one of the prices of running Urza Saga and a basic Swamp and the Mycosynth Gardens and the mana bases. Sometimes you can't turn 3 Whir, even if you want to, just to get it out of your hand. So that's okay though.
I noticed you. I
Yep.
noticed you didn't side out Pithing Needle, but I'm not really sure what you would bring in over Pithing Needle.
Well,
Yeah,
what's Roiling Vortex? You
yeah.
gotta name it.
I keep the needles in for
Roiling
Roiling
Vortex, yeah.
Vortex, and then it doesn't hurt to name their Horizon Canopy lands as well.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's not completely dead, and I don't
Yeah.
really see anything else you'd want to bring in over Needle.
Yeah, right. This is one of the matchups where like the aggressive deck doesn't have Force of Vigor either, so I can just get rid of the Vexing Baubles, no problem. So, but a lot of games I've just been leaving the Vexing Baubles in because they're good redraws. So like these don't come out too often over the games that I play, even though like they're not super relevant technically. That was one of the reasons why I really liked Vexing Bauble in this league. I was never mad to have one. So turn 1 guide. Reveals a Whir of Invention, which is a problem. Well, I guess we didn't talk about this opening hand. Normally I go like Mulligan rules in limited with hands, which is I need to have a clear path to cast most of my hand, and a hard restriction on that is, do I have the right colors to cast my hand? These 2 Thought Seizes here are kind of high risk, because they're gonna cost 4 points of life no matter what, or unless I can discard them to the cookbook. And that's assuming I can cast them at all. So I was a little worried about this hand because of that. If this was a 6-card hand, then I could just bottom a Thought Seize and be a lot happier. And this Whir is going to cause extra problems as well. So this is another one, or another turn 1 cookbook plan, because I have so many cards that I don't know what to do with that are not going to get out of their hand by themselves. Oh yeah, the opponent is running Blood Crypts as well. So there's black mana in the deck. We do discuss that in game 3. Because the sideboard tech is relevant against us, but it is cool. I will mention it just because it is cool deck tech. Turn 2 Eidolon is really brutal as well.
Oh,
We
that
need
is
a
nasty.
black source and a brutality.
Yeah. So on the bright side, the Goblin Guide acts as a shitty lantern for myself. So at least like I see an Inquisition of Kozilek, and like I can get rid of that. And then I can crack the Bauble and see my top card afterwards, and then on upkeep I can mill again. So I see a
Oh, it's the
cookbook.
cookbook. Oh,
Yeah.
it's the cookbook.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually like a monkey's paw kind of thing. Uh because now the Urza Saga tutor is like not good anymore.
Yeah.
So finding a bridge is going to be a nightmare because I need lands.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yes. This hand was a problem, and there's a bridge.
There's the
Or-
bridge.
Monkey's paw here. Like if this Thoughtseize was a land, if either of these Thoughtseizes was a land, if any of these cards in fact was a land, then I would be very happy right now. But
Yeah, so even drawing this bridge isn't gonna be worth it. You gotta.
yeah,
You're forced to mill.
yep.
I mean, you've learned for the next time you come across a hand like this, you gotta mull.
Yeah. Well, so I've been really picky with color restrictions on my hands, and after watching Thinker play for a little bit, I'm trying to learn to not auto mulligan some of these hands because they're not always auto mulligans. This one I think I should have not kept because the double Thoughtseize was already going to be heavy against burn.
Yeah.
Like I could have seen an argument for keeping it against a slow deck, but like
Yeah,
you're against burn.
yeah.
I would say that your opponent curved out perfectly here.
They
Yes,
did.
but
turn
they're
one guide
burn.
and turn two Eidolon.
They're playing burn. Their deck is designed to do that. So
Let's see.
yeah,
I
the
don't
early
see a
Eidolon.
way for you to win this game.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, there's no land below that either. Cookbook is gonna start dumping cards because I have to do that. Fixes finds a spell skite. Yeah, and that was it. So
Not gonna be enough.
that was game 2. So game 3 gets more interesting though. This is a hero story. So
Keep or mull. Ooh, that's a mull.
Oh.
yeah. So I learned from last hand, and we're not going to keep the 2 discard spells with no black mana. The double bridge is actually a problem here too. So yeah.
Yeah.
This is much better.
I like this one.
This is super clean. Now the question is, what do you bottom?
Yeah, that's a hard choice.
I would bottom the Thoughtseize actually.
Thoughtseize? Okay.
Yeah, I could see that. That seems like a decent argument. And hopefully they kept a creature heavy land and you can use the saga.
Yeah. Plus
Alright.
you have the Shredder and
Well,
Bauble,
actually,
and you have a saga
Duress.
that'll come up eventually.
Duress.
I think I get rid of Duress or a land. I'm not sure
Yeah,
which one.
Duress. Because you with Thoughtseize you can grab Eidolon or Guide.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, because like a lot of Burn's explosive plays are going to be to get creatures deployed early. So I think I just kind of want to take whatever their turn one is, or their Eidolon if they have one. But I can see the argument for Duress as well, because Duress hits Roiling Vortex. It seems like there's a couple different styles of burn running around right now. Like looking through the 5/0 dumps, like some of them are just running 4 Roiling Vortex in the main board,
Yeah.
and they're going heavy spells. And some of them don't even seem to run them in the sideboard. I don't really know.
Well, I think the Roiling Vortex thing was because of when Rhinos and Living End were huge.
Yeah. And Storm is around right now. Right? Oh,
Oh,
does it matter against
Well,
Storm? Do they have
No, I
free
don't think
spells?
it matters against Storm.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't matter
I-
against Storm.
I noticed that a small conversation started in one of the channels about if it's time to switch to Inquisition over Duress again.
Yeah.
And a hand like this kind of makes that argument look a little stronger. Because
Yeah.
like if that Duress was just an Inquisition, then it would just be snap, just keep the Inquisition.
Yeah. I'm running 8 discard spells in this list. I'm running 3 Duress, 1 Inquisition, and then the 4 Thoughtseize. So I might go to a
Oh, that's
2/2 and just see how it works, just so that I can experiment more. But if you're up against like One Ring control, it sucks. Like Inquisition is borderline
true.
useless.
Yeah,
So it
Inquisition
does
is-
still hurt sometimes, and at least Duress, like against most decks, at least takes something with it, even if it's not great. So we'll have to see. I don't know. What do I bottom? I bottom the Mycosynth Gardens.
Yeah, still worth.
Okay,
So-
that's fair.
I figured with Bauble plus Shredder, I'm gonna hit a land. So
Yeah.
Oh, I got turn 1 Duress as well. I didn't go for the Shredder Bauble.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would.
I think that's fair.
I
You need
think,
to slow them down.
yeah, that's probably what my argument was. So turn 1 Duress was to see... I don't know why I would turn 1 Duress.
I think you forgot about guide. That's all.
Yeah. I assume I thought about this. I feel like I would have thought about this. Yeah, I probably wanted to turn 1 Thoughtseize, because then I can grab a turn 1 creature if the hand was really reliant on a turn 1 creature. But I guess, yeah, it would have turned out the same with this hand either way, regardless of what spell I chose. But
Yeah, you needed to take the idol on.
yeah,
And
yeah, but I can still
think
do
it's
that next turn.
Even
Yeah.
if so, turn 1 Duress still kind of makes sense because you're gonna play a turn 2 Saga, and then probably get a turn 3 land to make blockers. So even if they have a guide, you're gonna take some damage, but it's eventually you're gonna nullify him.
That's true. That's true. So extra Shredder is kind of nice, I guess. Well, it actually doesn't do anything. Never mind. It's cheap
Yeah,
card
not
that I
really.
can cast at least.
Yeah, it'll eventually come. Oh, Rakdos Charm.
Yeah,
That
so
makes a lot of sense.
there is some chat that you'll see later, like as this game goes on. But apparently Rakdos Charm is tech versus Nadu
Yeah.
That
for
is some
the third mode.
disgusting tech. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who came up with that, but I was like, that's awesome. And it's like graveyard hate too, like when you need it. So it's really versatile. And yeah, the destroy artifact is like, I mean, they're gonna board that in anyways. They always run some of that, so
Yeah.
that kind of sucked. One thing that I didn't evaluate when I was doing the Thoughtseize hand, I did take a Eidolon here. But I was thinking, like, do I take the artifact removal that's going to answer bridge, or do I take the thing that's going to deal large chunks of damage to me that might make this game close out either way? And I kind of thought about a lot of this after I committed to taking the Eidolon. So I got pretty nervous about that. However, one thing that I should have also considered while I was making this choice is that my opponent doesn't have any fetches right now. And so they can't cast their Rakdos Charm yet. It's kind of a risk to not take the Rakdos Charm. I almost think that it's correct to take the Rakdos Charm here. I'm not really sure. But
Even if they can cast the Rakdos Charm to try to kill a bridge, you should be hitting a third land. You should be able to make constructs. So you don't need a bridge yet.
that is
You're
true.
gonna have creatures.
That is true. If I hit my third land, then I can start blocking and stuff. So I can stall. Okay. So I take the
I
Eidolon.
still think it's correct to take the Eidolon. It's just like that thing
Yeah.
just does way too much work.
Yeah, that is true. And I do still have... I will have a Codex Shredder that I need to dump next turn no matter what. So.
All right, let's find a land here.
So they spike a Boros Charm.
Of course.
So we're at 11.
And you spike.
That's an
in
Inquisition.
Okay. Do you keep that?
No, I need a
I don't
land.
think you do.
I need Urza Saga tokens desperately. So
Let's go land. Right now. Nope. Right.
there we go.
now.
There we go. Slight
Close
misfire.
enough.
Yeah. I'll take it. I don't care.
Oh no.
So,
Oh,
why did I
no.
do this? I think my argument was that I'm going to be able to make constructs next turn. They have removal for the constructs right now.
Right, but if they
That's
remove the
fair
constructs,
enough.
that's gaining you life.
I guess you could fetch a lantern and then just use a really strong lock to just keep them off of everything.
So, let's see here. I'm going to get a cookbook next turn.
I don't know
I don't know.
if cookbook is strong enough.
I might
It
grab
is.
a... No, I
Yeah.
might grab a lantern next turn. I don't know what I do here.
I do think the correct choice was to make a construct though.
Yeah, it would have been a 2/2, but yeah, that does stall.
Yeah, 2/2 would have 2/2 wouldn't have done a whole lot, but it would have. I
It's
guess
safe.
They
it
they
doesn't really
helix
matter if
it,
it
they
saves you
attack
life
me,
this
I go to
turn or next.
9. They have a Rakdos Charm and lands in their hand. At 9, then I get the cookbook out. Yeah, no, I can see the argument for that. Okay, yeah.
Either
So
way, like
I mean,
that's the
I suppose
takeaway.
I suppose there's good reasons for doing it both ways. I think we should just see how it goes.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what my thinking probably was that if I hit a bridge in the next couple of turns, it's gonna be completely useless because I'm gonna have 2 Codex Shredders stuck in my hand.
oh yeah,
Ah,
And my mana is going to disappear over the next few turns as well. So
that's fair.
that's
that could be an issue. Um,
Yeah, and you do have to make a well, not have to make a construct, but use the mana next turn.
yeah, so I can make the construct next turn, and then if I search up a cookbook this turn, then I can just discard whatever I draw if it's uncastable as well.
that's true.
So Lightning Helix is
But they're gonna
out.
have open season on your life total in the meantime.
Yes.
6. You're at 6 now. And they got a Rakdos Charm in hand, but it's still uncastable.
You draw a bridge. Oh, that's
Oh, you drew a Glimmervoid. Oh, that's okay. Well, that's
All right, so the
another
token's being
construct
made.
right there.
Yeah.
yeah. This is close enough to a bridge.
Okay, yeah, this is good. This is fine. I personally would grab a lantern right here.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tutor something up next turn no matter what. So
Yeah.
yep, the lantern is here.
It doesn't. Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh,
And there's
just in
another
time.
Rakdos charm. Yeah, the collective brutality is super great. They have a second Rakdos charm which is uncastable as well. I have
You just let them keep the
Oh.
Rakdos Charm and keep them off of.
Nope, apparently not.
fetches?
Apparently I didn't want them to have it anyway. I probably wasn't thinking
All right,
there.
that's fair.
I
Well,
I
it doesn't,
wasn't
I don't think
on
it
top.
really matters that much. You got a collective brutality coming up.
yeah.
You've got another pop up of your Urza Saga, but you didn't play the Glimmervoid.
I want to discard it to the collective brutality, I think is the idea.
All right, fair enough.
That makes sense.
It's there's some tough choices being made in this in this game. There's a limited resources.
Well, I mean, you're kind of fine with the 3 mill rocks,
Goblin Guide.
but they could
Yeah.
draw like.
Yeah.
It is burn. They could
3
just
or
have
so.
4 burn spells in a row. Yeah,
that's
so
the thing.
it's this game does not feel safe at all.
Oh, I've played
Especially
so
with that
many burn.
boy.
I've played so many burn games like this. It's always just clench your butt and ride
Yeah.
in the seat of your chair and just hope that you're gonna live.
Yeah.
They didn't.
When
They didn't play the.
The guide.
Interesting.
the guide.
All right,
Yeah,
so
well, yeah.
so make the mill Eidolon. I think Eidolon is still a problem until I get a bridge down, because I'm gonna need to at least cast a bridge at some point.
Draining 2 puts you out of double bolt range, which is good.
Yeah.
Book just does so much work.
Yeah. At this point I think I was trying to figure out if it's worth it to if it's worth it to do multiple modes on the collective brutality, or if it's worth it to try and get a food for the cookbook right now.
Mm,
I
that is a tough call. With
that kind of is tough because like the second mode that I would want to use on brutality is the drain mode, but
there's no
cookbook
point
just
to
gains you more
drain.
life,
Yeah,
Yeah.
cookbook does it better.
and you can keep your land.
Yeah. Well, I can use collective brutality to kill this swift spear.
Well,
Or did
Yeah,
they?
'cause
Did,
they
yeah,
can
they didn't
have-
draw any burn. I know what they have in their hand.
Yeah.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
I think we
Yeah,
only know
the-
2 of the cards in their hand.
yeah, Rakdos Charm and
the
Guide.
Goblin
Yeah.
Guide, yeah.
Yeah, so I had to sit here for a minute. I eventually decided to make them reveal their hand to drain them for some life, I think.
That's fair.
I worry that they would just like cast like a lightning bolt or
Oh, they did have a
or
helix.
something. Yeah,
I
and then
That's
they
what
would
it's
grow the
helix.
Swift
So-
Spear and that wouldn't kill it.
yeah, okay. So I didn't know what that last card was. because I haven't seen
Oh,
them
now
draw
you do.
Helix. Yes. So never mind. All right.
Yeah,
um. Yeah.
you've probably got this game locked up.
Yeah. So there's a Rakdos Charm and a Guide. So they will have another creature next turn.
Yeah, the issue here would just be like 5 burn spells in a row.
Yeah. Well,
which
so
is
another
theoretically possible.
another concern here is that even though I'm gonna have 4 mill rocks, I don't have a bridge. So their burn is still scary because I can't even sack foods right now.
Yeah.
So I have a couple draw steps before Cookbook is even online, and I have but so I can give them lands, but I can't give them like any spells.
And you can't give them any of the cantrip lands either.
Yeah, the cantrip lands, yeah, are things I really don't want them to have either. So it all feels bad.
Yeah.
So
and this is
discarding that
just riding by the
Glimmervoid,
seat of your pants.
yeah, this Glimmervoid discard had a cost associated with it. So
Yeah, it's easy to look back and think maybe I should have just discarded the brutality to the cookbook and just start gaining 3 each turn, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then you'd have to keep them off of all fetch lands as well.
yeah.
if I didn't drain with collective brutality, I would be at 3 right now, which is so
Yeah,
scary. And it's like
Especially with this
Yeah.
guide coming down.
yeah, and they have a second creature too. So like I can kind of let them draw creatures at this point. Like I can let them have one more creature in this situation before it all goes to
Yeah.
shit. So I can let one more slip through. And as long as I never draw a burn spell until Cookbook is back online, then I'm okay. But like it's so dicey. Okay, so I mill my own
man.
Pixis. Yeah, sweet salvation. That white border island's got me salivating.
Milling that Pixis was
what
a
is that?
big dick play right there.
Is that 8th edition?
Yeah, it's 8th edition. I actually bought these. I had to figure out how to do that on GoatBots because like their filters aren't that great for the set versions. I had to go
That's
digging.
Um,
Yeah, I like white border cards. I think it's slightly
Same.
tilting to my opponents too when they see one white border card in the row.
That's why my Lorwyn Thoughtseizes are white border.
dude, what's it with us lantern players and white bordering our shit?
when I got my Adnaz combo on Card Hoarder for the first time, like all the sleight of hands, all the City of Brasses are white border. So like
Nice.
yeah, so sometimes you just see a massive clump of white border cards, and the City of Brass is like orange too, so it does not look like a Magic card. It's wild. But, all right, so there's a land on top. I would love to discard this to Cookbook, but I might need that for an Ensnaring Bridge too, though. So like the hard decisions are not over yet, but at least I
It's a
can
delta,
stabilize.
So
Yeah, at least I can discard
hard
this,
is
go to
delta.
8, and then thinking is less hard.
Oh, is that a skull crack?
That is a skull crack, yes.
Do you let them? I don't.
No.
No.
I don't
No.
think
No.
you let them have the skull.
No
crack.
burn allowed.
no, Skullcrack is effectively 6 damage if it's used in response to a cookbook.
Oh, whoops. I just clicked go a bunch of times.
that's fine.
It froze.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
I
we,
think-
we
Uh,
found out what you did. You let them keep a
Drew
Swifty.
Delta, tapped cookbook, sacked to gain life, yeah.
Yeah, so they milled 2 skull cracks. So that's a good sign. Because I don't think they run more than 3, probably. They might run 4, but 2 of them are gone. That makes me happy. So they have another Swift Spear. I think that's what I let them keep. I let them keep a Swift Spear. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they can swing out, but they can only deal what
3.
3 damage.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
2
2 if I
block
block
guide.
properly. Yeah. So
And they fuel the hand so you can discard more cards to cookbook.
yeah. So at this
So
point,
you let them keep the. Interesting.
yeah.
You let them keep the secluded canyon.
So with 3 mill rocks, like at this point, I think like I can let them have a single burn spell if I
So you
need
are
to.
gonna effectively be at 11.
Yeah, so I have some leniency now. So what I can do is I can play my 3rd land. So now if I find Ensnaring Bridge, I can cast it. I didn't want them to have the canyon. I guess I changed my mind. There's another Swift Spear. which they're allowed
You
to
can,
have.
you can let them draw that though.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, this is still sketchy though. This is still 4 creatures against the 1 construct. This 1 construct is like holding so much back right now. Yeah, so now it's just a matter of finding bridge.
Oh man.
So
Not that it matters because it's worth
Yeah.
more as a.
yeah,
it's
I
worth
think
more as a-
that was my
as a
decision. Yeah,
food.
it's gone. It's food. That's food. Delicioso. And that's a bridge right there. Where of Invention is gonna find
Oh,
the bridge.
yeah.
So we're good.
All right, you're good.
Yeah.
You're fine.
That is one of the nice things about like if you're stuck in top deck bridge moments, like the Whir saves you. The Whir is salvation.
That amped raptor is an interesting inclusion.
Yeah, and it makes sense in their deck. Like if they're not running Rift
It's
Bolts.
a 2-for-1.
Yeah. It's a 2/1 first striker, so like it's not it's an annoying body. That's a Thalia right there. In combat. And it finds a free burn spell for you. Or it finds a buddy. So yeah, I could absolutely see why Raptor is in there. That's dope.
Yeah,
It's terrifying.
I'm glad that Burn has finally got an upgrade after what, like 7 years or something.
Are they running slick shots?
Some lists are. They're kind of their own builds though.
Makes
All
sense.
right.
I think the latest thing that they actually run is maybe skewer the critics.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
they
they
got
ran
the
skewers, but I don't even like if they're running Amped Raptor, they probably don't run skewers.
Probably not.
So, so the new
Or-
tech
or
took the
Vortex.
slightly new, older tech.
I don't remember when Vortex came out.
Oh, Roiling Vortex was the
MH
Zendikar Rising.
was
Is
it
that what it's called?
Zendikar?
Yeah, most recent Zendikar set.
Dude, I've completely forgotten how many Zendikar sets there are.
Yeah, we went back again.
Like the Ravnica.
We went back to have
God, don't.
D&D campaign or something like.
Hey guys, we heard you like
the
Ravnica, so
Forgotten Realms.
here's 3 more Ravnica sets in a single year.
Yeah, why does Murders of Karlov Manor exist? I don't know what happens in the plot at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't that take place on Innistrad though?
Oh,
No, Murders of Karlov is a Ravnica Ravnica set.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
he's
Okay.
Karlov, leader of the Orzhov. Guild.
Oh, it's Karlov, not
Yeah,
Markov.
Markov.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
people made that mistake.
Yeah, it's Tisa Karlov instead of Soaring, yeah. I'm just gonna press play on this. The rest of the game is kind of sold at this point.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, you got bridge,
a
3
victory.
rocks, and the gardens. You're good.
Yeah, that was dicey for a hot minute though. That felt good because like I've struggled against Burn quite a lot over the past I don't know so many games. So this felt nice. Game 1 was a freebie. Game 2 I got wrecked. Game 3 was sweet salvation. Or
I
vindication.
love playing against Burn just because like every game that you win, you deserve the win.
Yeah.
Like there's almost never a free win against Burn.
These are like the 2 polar opposites of Magic, just together in one game, boiled down into like the most concentrated sludge. And then you pit them against each other.
Burn at least has like you at least need to know how to sequence properly to play Burn effectively.
Yeah. It's not a cakewalk. Burn can be
No.
difficult. There is still a skill staircase to
Yeah, it's not Mono Greentron.
And I find that a lot of the difficulty on Burn comes from deck construction. You just need to be so incredibly disciplined when you're building it. You can't. It doesn't have room for any cute stuff in it.
Oh, this is neat. Are you gonna let them draw the?
Damn, that's ballsy. Okay.
What did I let them draw?
Eidolon.
Oh, I'm at 20.
Yeah.
I'm not casting a spell for the rest of the game. They can have
That's
it.
fair. You're just gonna discard
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that was my thought.
bro.
I'm just milling them. I have 4 Codex Shredders. I'm good.
Let's see.
On
They have
Cookbook is just
13 left
so
in the
good.
deck.
Yeah,
you
they
cast the bridge.
13 in library. Yeah, I did cast the bridge. I'm at 20. It's fine. Like, I'm like, all right. If they're still here for some reason, they must have an answer to the bridges or something. I don't know, but
Sending a message. Cast a bridge into Eidolon.
I do not care about you anymore.
This is my game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like in Pokemon when you meet your Pokemon rival at like the Elite Four or whatever, and you beat them up. Yeah, that's like,
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
yeah. So yeah, that
What
was.
did they?
What, go ahead.
Oh, did they concede?
Yeah, they conceded. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but yeah. This guy was super nice too. Like we were having a good time the whole time.
Nice.
I don't know why burn players seem to not mind Lantern too much. I don't know. Like they seem chill.
Maybe they're just grateful to finally take a break.
Like, yeah. They're like, wow, I don't have like 30 minutes of downtime now, like between my games, like in paper at least. So we're down here. So now we're on game 3. So game 3 is going to be the loss. I will spoil that ahead of time. This is the 1 in the 4-1.
This hand's decent.
Oh, this was a 4-1 lead. Congrats.
Yeah, I was very happy. I did not expect that at all. Thank you. But yeah, after like going 0-4 drop like for like 3 leagues in a row, this is really nice. It's a really nice turn of events.
Delta Shadow.
Nethergoyf.
Nether
So-
boy.
I will say I've been playing against this in tournament practice. Nethergoyf is scary.
Nethergoyf is crazy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean like Tarmogoyf for the most part was like your own graveyard anyways. Like everything that you got on value of your opponent's graveyard was just gravy. But like
Yeah.
so like you're powering this up yourself. You get it out turn 1, and if you have 2 of them, you can grow this to like a 3-4 pretty reasonably.
Yeah, I was thinking about building a list with it like if you guys are familiar with Legacy, Shardless Bug with
Mhm.
instead of Tarmogoyf, Nethergoyf, and I
Mhm.
wasn't dead set on Baubles or not, but because like it feels bad
Mm,
to Shardless Agent into a Bauble, so I don't think I'm gonna go that.
that kind of
Assuming
sucks
this
because yeah,
person-
most Goyflists really want a Bauble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I'm
sucks.
assuming this person's running Baubles and maybe even Sagas.
Yeah, I did see this I checked out their
Sagas-
stream.
Oh wait, that's the 2 card types for.
Yeah, Urza Saga is enchantment and land, and those are
And land,
like
yeah.
the enchantment is a hard card type to get, especially if you're running like
Black, blue.
Sultai, yeah, the blue black, yeah.
I'm really grateful that like Nethergoyf was like one of the first cards out of the set to
Oh,
be
this is
spoiled, and I'm
Shadow.
glad that people didn't forget about it. Ugh.
Grixis
Yeah.
Shadow with Goyf. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Sultai Shadow and some like 4-color zoo lists ran Tarmogoyf in the past, so I think Nethergoyf is a pretty solid addition into Grixis. Yeah, this deck goes fast though. I was scared. I wasn't sure what to take in this hand.
Uh,
It seemed
Geez, what do you take? You don't have any.
Oh my god.
Let's
Well,
see.
the Duress will take the Battle Rage, maybe. So I feel like you need to be taking a creature.
Shadow.
but they can't take the Shadow yet. If you take the
No.
Preordained, they
Yeah.
can't dig.
Also, they have one Nethergoyf on the table already, so that's something to keep in mind too. So if I take a creature that grows the Nethergoyf,
Oh,
Yeah.
true. Oh,
So I
this is
think-
anything you grows the Goyf.
yes,
Yeah.
but
I
they're
think
less
the
likely to grow a
Preordained-
creature.
Yeah, I
Or-
think the Preordain is the best thing they can use to try to grow the Goyf even more, because it's going to dig.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I do take the Preordain here.
that makes
I
sense.
kind of regret that choice though. I feel like I should have bobbled first to
Oh, good
inform
point.
myself.
Yeah. Good point.
Ah, true.
Um,
That's fair.
Usually avoid doing this on my own turn against Thoughtseize decks, but I could see the Thoughtseize ahead of time on the top deck, I guess. So like I could have avoided it. I don't know. I think the value of seeing like the top card in their hand, like, especially because I have 2 baubles too. Like yeah, I should have been fine. Yeah. So there's a Preordain on top. Had I known that information, I probably would not have taken the Preordain out of their hand. I probably would have
true.
just taken another Goyf. Because yeah, now it feels moot. Yeah, they're just gonna draw cards anyway. So I felt really silly there. And that was a non-creature off my Thoughtseize too, so this Duress is gonna feel a lot worse as well.
Thoughtseize bug.
Hey, at least at least they're only gonna have 2 types for their Goyf.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
yeah, no, 2 types.
yeah, still 2 types. But there's gonna be 2
Yeah,
nether
you don't
glyphs
have
too.
to count your own side.
So yeah, now there's
I
2
just-
nether
Oh,
glyphs.
use the Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, and all they need to do is just play an instant, and things get so much worse, right? Like, if I duress their Temur Battle Rage, these are 3/4s, and that's 6 damage a turn.
Ooh.
So
It feels so bad.
Oh,
yeah.
Drown.
yeah, and so
Dude,
I
what an
have,
expensive deck.
you know what sucks here too is if I draw a bridge, these 2 baubles filled my graveyard, and so drown is live.
Yeah.
Do you ever search their deck?
Here's
Because I'm
Whir.
interested in this list.
Yeah, actually they're a streamer. So I'm sure they have VODs. They had their list up when I was going through their stream after the game because I popped in and said hi and said GG's and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll definitely look up his name.
Yeah. Yeah, he gave a little deck summary at the end. He said that he went 4-1 in his league. He went pretty good. It felt good for him.
Alright,
Yeah, nether glyphs are amazing. Yeah, he runs like 4 baubles as well in this list, so and I think he's got he might have sagas. He might not have sagas. I don't know. I don't remember.
Be able to Whir until turn 4.
Yeah, this turn 1 swamp means that I can't Whir until turn 4.
I think I would have saved that. Well, doesn't matter if you save the duress. Because I was gonna say I think you saved the duress for the drown.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good argument, because especially I already know it's there. Because I guess I'm in the mentality that I need to dump my hand for Ensnaring Bridge, but it doesn't matter if they have counter magic in their hand to answer the bridge. So that's a good point.
I guess
Yeah.
you could just make Whir big enough to where Drown can't take it.
Oh no!
Although
Now
the
you
game-
can't Whir until turn 5.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a mistake too. That was also a mistake. Yeah. I think I was in Urza Saga chump block mode. There were mistakes made this game. And
Hey.
there's a bridge right there, which is great.
Wow, would you look at that?
I would have top decked the bridge next turn. If I had waited to turn Duress that drown in the lock, I could have tanked these nether glyphs, and then I could have bridged. Yeah. And then I just have to.
Glyphs are what? 4 or 5s?
There are 3/4s right now, so there's instant sorcery land in the graveyard.
Damn, I wouldn't even play the swamp. Like,
Man, he's
just in
running-
the list in general.
The swamp is in here for a couple reasons. I used to not run the swamp either, but going turn 1 Thoughtseize is so important in this deck, and if your only black source is Polluted Delta, going turn 1 Thoughtseize, go to 15 life, swings some matchup clocks, and having a Whir available in turn 3 isn't that, like, it's useful. Don't get me wrong, but like the deck shouldn't be trying to do it 100% of the time. If you're running Urza Sagas, that's something you're not doing anyway. So that was a concession that I made. It also if you play against Blood Moon, you need the swamp too.
Oh, Blood Moon, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, the Blood Moon would be your argument against not City of Tears. Is it River
Oh.
of Tears, right?
I run River of Tears. Yeah, I love River
What
of
you
Tears.
could have also
do
done
run
here,
River of Tears.
what you
Yeah.
could have also done here is sack the lantern so they don't draw the drown.
That is true. I could have done that. Yeah, I'm in a position where I really need to do something, and I saw that I have the bridge too, so I just need to stop them right now, and then Saga can tutor something else later, or else up later. I was not thinking very hard this game. I made mistakes here, lots of mistakes. I was going through the motions and like turn 1 Saga or turn 1 Swamp, turn 2 Saga with a Whir in
I
hand.
reckon
It's not
just to
political.
maintain your mistakes, don't play a land here and just pass the turn.
You're right. Yeah. I
message.
have played games in leagues where I thought that it was my opponent starting, and then I immediately just pressed 6 and passed through my own turn on the play. That felt bad. Yeah, that felt bad. That was against Domain Zoo. That was a pretty embarrassing game.
Ooh.
That's okay. I won the next 2. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. I'm just dead anyway, so yeah, I'll just let this play out. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point.
We'll play the bridge just to say that we played the bridge.
Yeah,
I mean, you can shuffle your own deck and.
yeah, dead here,
Oh,
right?
Well,
yep, they
does it
fetch
really-
shock.
Yeah,
Actually,
super
you've got
dead.
3 cards in hand.
They had a fetch land. They
Oh my
fetch shock.
Oh, I-
The shadow goes big.
Oh well. No,
Yeah.
There you go.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that was a
anybody's
turn 4 kill.
curious,
That was a turn 4 kill with plenty of interaction on their part. So that deck is
That's-
scary. That's
I
pretty
mean,
good.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think you actually could have won this one though.
Yeah. Make no mistake, I could have won here. It is Grixis Death Shadow. Like, they don't have interaction once I get the bridge on the table, besides, like, Kolagon's command. In the main board, at least. So, like, and I don't even think their list runs Kolagon's commands.
There is in the side. I posted the list in off topic.
Do they have
Sideboard,
Brazen
okay.
Borrower?
I don't think I saw Brazen B. No Brazens.
Okay.
Oh, this is the keeper mole you did, isn't it? Oh, wait, no, never mind.
No, that Keeper Mole was against, was it Living End or something? No, Yawgmoth. It was against the Yawgmoth
Yeah.
list. That had,
I
like,
mean,
an
I keep
Ashiok
this.
or something. Alright, let's see if I keep it. Nope.
Did not.
It's
keep-
gone. Based off of the speed that I saw in my opponent's hand, I think I wanted some interaction to try and slow them down.
Yeah,
That's
I
reasonable.
yeah, so I think I wanted a lower curve or something because yeah, seeing like I assume they run stubs as well. I didn't see it in that game,
Yes,
but I
they
was
do.
yeah, and yeah, I that is confirmed this game. They do play a stub this game, but like I had a big hunch like Death Shadow likes Stubborn Denial. Nethergoyf
Yep.
is getting big. I don't see why they wouldn't run Stubborn Denial. So yeah, just getting some counterspell out of their hand would be really good here.
This is sick.
So yeah, so for a matchup fast like this, I'm gonna grab a basic swamp. For my turn 1 Thought Seizes every time. Unless maybe if I have a Whir in hand and that's like I have my hand already planned out, then maybe I'll go to 15 off of this, but oh, sorry.
meltdown.
Oops. Yeah, so they run Meltdown as well, which made me kind of sad. So they have a Gurmag Angler, Death Shadow, Thoughtseize, 2 Street Wraiths, and a land. So
Ooh.
yeah, their hand
That's-
is
that's land,
pure
yeah.
gas. Their hand is nuts. I am terrified.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That puts him at 13 on turn 1.
But shout out to Gurmag Angler though. I haven't seen this in a while.
Gurmag Angler in 2020.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, move over, Tassiger. There's a new fish in town.
Same set and neither are played now.
Yeah. Yes, Street Wraith, Delta, Fetch Shock. Wow, look at that. Turn
I'll go
1,
to
they're at
11,
13
yeah.
life. They didn't even need me to help them. And Thoughtseize will put them at 11, yeah.
Yep.
They take the Nile Spellbomb. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess we should
yeah.
go over what I boarded.
Yeah, because they're gonna try to angler.
Yeah.
If they have
Um,
another land, they'll angler. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, no, you're good, you're good. I took out the Baubles. I think that's a mistake because they could be running, like, Force of Negations or something. I think they actually do Force of Negation in this game. They might not. I don't remember. But that should be a concern. Their deck is so mana efficient that they probably have some free spells kicking around that I might want to run the Baubles for. And they're 1 mana artifacts, so it's fine for me to keep them in. I took out the Surgical. I don't think I really need Surgical here. Fatal Push is in. I left out Feed the Swarm. I might have wanted that in the deck.
Yeah. Not for
Uh,
an angler, but
No. But I wasn't expecting to see the angler. that one Death Shadow though is like Feed the Swarm is like really good against a single
Right.
Death Shadow or another Goyf. I think I put in the Collective Brutalities, which
yeah.
seems like an
got a
interesting
gate.
choice. Yeah, I think it's just for extra discard effects, but I don't know if that's good or not.
I think that's right. Absolutely.
Okay. Fatal Push is in. I said that already. Graveyard Hate. So that's what, 5 cards? Then Cookbook, Cage. 2 Baubles are out. So I guess I boarded in 4 cards. Okay. All right, I'll carry on.
Hey.
So yeah, never hurts to see a bridge. Do all these lovely basic lands and a Spellskite. Spellskite's gonna be putting in some work. I hope. It has to. Oh yeah, they have a Harbinger of the Seas in the list too, which is pretty interesting. Thankfully, this deck does pretty well against Harbinger of the Seas, and I already have my basic Swamp out, so it doesn't shut anything off. But well, it does turn off Sagas still. So if I need that, then that sucks. But they also have another Goyf.
Draw land.
Yeah, I need a land.
Land.
That's a Bauble. And that's another
Land.
bridge.
Well, at least the Bauble is a redraw.
Yeah. Yeah, but like they're tapped out. They're still on one land. They're actually stuck on one land here. So this is a moment where, you know, this is my time. This is my window. Because now Stubborn Denial's up. Or,
Drown, everything's up.
yeah, everything's up. That was
They're
the
gonna
turn.
play at best one creature.
Yeah.
They might not even play a creature.
Did I not block?
Um,
Oh, you know what? Yeah, if bridge comes down, then bridge wins the game. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
fight
it
over the
doesn't-
Nether Goyf.
I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like
And they're definitely holding up a stubby board.
Yeah.
Okay.
so Darkslick is here now. Bridge
So if
number
you
what?
play your bridge, and then he holds, yeah.
Force of
And then what's the bet? The
negation.
second one gets counted.
Oh, the second one, they have 2 cards in hand. It's probably getting counted.
Yeah, they have 2 cards in
oh,
hand.
the 2 cards is an angler.
Yeah,
and
note they also had blue mana held up here. So
I
like
feel like either I'm really unlucky, or I just suck at Magic, or I was Hitler in a past life. But it's never happened to me where the one card I had in hand was the card I needed to win the game next turn, but the opponent always does it. So I'm pretty sure I'm Hitler.
no, that just means you're bad at the game. It's okay.
Mm.
I got you
I
covered.
don't know.
I'll be
There
How
have
can I
been
be bad at
times-
the game? I play Lantern Control. How can I be bad?
Yeah, so they had the stub.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's just how it is. So they were a highly interactive deck that with a very low mana curve and a fast clock. And if I manage to get a bridge resolved, then the game is over. But if I don't, then well, the game is over the other way. So
Yeah.
that's how it is. So I wasn't too beat up over this loss. I was riding high off my 2-0, but quite frankly, I was happy I was winning at all. So I was still in good spirits.
You're like, holy shit! I won a single game.
Yeah. I was up. I'm up 2-1 right now. So these
How
are
did
the
you end
games.
up doing in this league as well?
4-1.
4-1.
This is a 4-1 league. I was super
Wow,
excited.
so
Yeah.
You got like treasure chests out of that as well.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I keep forgetting that I should open those, shouldn't I? That's right. I
Nah,
got a
you
Tameo out of
sell
one of
those
those.
and- Yeah.
You're supposed to
Usually
sell
you
them?
just
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then you can quote unquote go infinite with your like, if you're like really good, you can just sell all your treasure chests and stuff like that.
Okay, that's good to know then. All right, I will not
Even
open.
just
There was
averaging
also-
3-2 is good enough.
Yeah.
There was a
That's
case
true.
of like, I think Sean McLaren back in the day, he won like a big open event in Modern. It was like a Modern 64 event. He got like 1,000 or like something like that, like an insane amount of treasure chests as his prize money. And he opened all of them on stream, and he got fucking nothing. He got ripped to shit.
Oh, damn.
And then he quit the game. Like, so you gotta be really careful about treasure chests, man.
Yeah, I
That's
figured it would make
funny.
sense to sell the like on the GoatBot site. It said like if you or like what it says on the site is if you're gonna keep playing leagues, if you're gonna spend the player points, then you can open them. And I tried to look up some other stuff, but at the same time, like I don't know, Magic's a gambler's
like-
game, so
Yeah, it's
They
all content
clutter your
gambling anyway.
collection and
I'm not a big gambler, but like a lot of the advice that you're gonna see like on the top posts are gonna be from people that open a lot of
the
shit.
odds I
so
think to get like really good shit in your treasure chest is like 1 to 50 against.
that makes sense.
Which makes
Okay.
it all the better when you fucking win that thing, dude.
So-
Open those chests,
So
bro.
I got a Tameo actually, and that's what paid for this league. So I got a Tameo out of one of the chests, and I flipped it. It's probably worth a lot now still, but I was like, yo, 22 tickets. I'll take that. Thank you. But it was one of the alt art ones
Greatest
too. So
The greatest pull I've ever done in my entire life was like the first pack I ever opened as a Magic player was like a pack of Kaladesh, and I got a foil, the Masterpiece Soul Ring.
whoa.
Yeah, and then someone's like,
Whoa.
"Bro, you gotta keep your
Ooh.
hands on that." And he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Cause that costs $300."
Yeah, that would have been
And
like
I'm
$300. Yeah.
Holy fuck! Well, they're like 1.1k now, I think.
Oh yeah. Well yeah. Commander's way bigger
$300.
now than it was in like Kaladesh. Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah, like I don't know. They've
So-
really pushed Commander, but
I
at the-
had a
at the time,
Trinisphere.
yeah.
I had a Masterpiece Trinisphere I got
Whoa.
rid of. It was like
Oh, I like
$30.
that
I got rid of it for like $30. I'm so bad.
Oh.
I had
Have you considered like just
Yep.
buying it back with all of your treasure chest money now?
Oh yeah, on MTGO it's like peanuts, isn't it? So like
Yeah.
I got the only expeditions that I've gotten, well, I've gotten 3 in total. I got a Sunken Ruins. I flipped that
Ouch.
for like 85.
Oh, that's
Nice.
good then.
Yeah,
'cause
Sunken
that's
Ruins
a
is the
lot less
expensive
now.
one. It's worth more than
Makes
that. Or it's about the same, I think, actually. The one from Oath of the Gatewatch was Ancient Tomb. That one I should have held on to. That I got rid of for like $90.
Wait, am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Sunken Hollow, not Ruins. Ruins is the filter.
Sunken
right?
Ruins is the
Yeah.
filter land, yeah.
Okay, yeah, never mind. I was thinking of
That
the
was a good
Tango
one.
land.
Yeah, no, not the Tango. Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
If you want to feel like you're making stonks, play the Penny Dreadful format, and then when shit gets unbanned out of that format, it goes up in price. It's amazing. Like I think Smuggler's Copter was legal in Penny for like the longest time, and then it got unbanned in Pioneer, and it shot up, and everyone who bought like 50 Smuggler's Copters, which was me, made like $100. It was amazing.
I guess you're
I was
one
like
without
rolling
things.
in it. I printed it out at an ATM machine. I got it all in like the smallest denomination possible. And I just started throwing it at my wife.
Fan your money and your
Oh, it was beautiful.
Snapchat like photo, yeah. Post on Instagram.
And I was like
Not gonna
throwing
lie,
it
watching
at my. I was throwing it at my wife, and I was like, who's wasting money now? But I miss her. Is the important thing.
watching Penny Dreadful, like not even playing the format, but just like joining like for the first week of every season and just
Yeah.
seeing what decks are good. Like that's actually a legitimately good speculation. Because
Well,
like
it feels
the-
like standard. It feels like standard.
yeah. You just
I
buy
love
what's
jank.
good.
I love bad jank. Playing with bad jank is fun. That's why I draft. Oh.
Yeah, it's really good.
I guess draft is
Um,
kind of pushed these days, but sorry. Anyways.
I love you as well.
Oh, look at that. Aw. Aw, there's
Yeah.
hearts in the chat. I love it. Alright. So this hand. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, you can see I kept it, but
Nah. Oh yeah. Nah. I'd keep it.
Yeah, I'm torn between do you turn one Codex Shredder and Bauble and go for the second land, or do you turn one Duress?
yeah.
I'm guessing you Shredder Bauble because you're gonna need that land.
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
draw,
I agree.
maybe on the draw, like, well, I draw a card. Actually, I wouldn't have to do anything to draw the card and see what I have next. But yeah. In this situation, game 1, no information. I'm just gonna Shredder Bauble, especially because I have a Whir
You
in
bauble
hand too.
yourself? I would have bought
Yes.
it myself.
Yes,
100%.
yeah, I'm gonna do that on their end step though, because if they
Petria Triumph,
a Ketria Triome. What does this mean?
but no companion.
Yeah,
so it
no
can't be
companion. This is the
Well,
weird
that
Triumph
could
too.
be. It could be a control deck with Tameo, but if they had Tameo, they would like shock.
Those
or fetch
those
shock.
decks usually play just blue red. They don't usually go into a third color.
Right.
Uh,
I did play against the Jeskai list that was like using the energy package too. I think there's a few of those running
Oh.
around. But
yeah, I'm
but
running.
yeah,
I
to,
like them.
I'm running Tameo in my Esper deck, and she's so good.
yeah, Tameo's supposedly pretty busted. I haven't played against Tameo yet, but
Yeah, I have.
I'm not
It's
excited.
giving- New Tamio is giving like the modern origin. Sorry, the Magic Origins Jace, like the 2-mana Jace.
Oh, the
Oh,
Prince
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Prodigy, yeah.
Yeah, Vryn's Prodigy. It's giving Vryn's
$80 flip
Prodigy.
chase. Well, it's like 5 now, but
Yes,
like,
dude, I
speaking of-
remember when it was so expensive.
yeah,
You had to
When
like sell your third child to get it. It was amazing.
yeah.
when I played Standard at the time, I had pooled an Expedition Steam Vents, and I
Yo.
traded
Mm.
that for a Jace.
Sorry.
Think of the value.
But then Jace went up to $114, and I
Uh-huh.
sold him.
Okay.
Okay, all right. That's good. There's a happy ending.
It didn't end with me keeping him, and he was like $5.
That's
Yeah, dude.
that's a
I
good
remember
recovery at least. Like having an Expedition Steam Vents, like, I mean, like, if
No,
you're
no,
gonna play
'cause-
the game forever, it's still really good. But like,
Because then I sold that for and then I used that money to buy a playset of Flooded Strands to get into Modern.
there you go. That's good. And fetches are, or like, those ones are pretty stable. Those ones have stayed pretty consistent. So, well, I guess they just tanked, but they'll go back up.
No, Flooded Strand in Polluted Delta, they usually just take like a little dip and then.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually the opposite effect because I remember it happening when Shocklands got reprinted into Standard that one time, and then everyone bought those on Drove, but then turns out everyone bought them on Drove because they thought it was affordable, so the price actually went up, and they were buying an expensive product.
Yeah. Well, eventually the increased supply will dip the price long term on average, and then it'll come back up over time as they rotate out of Standard. So
Do
that's
you
just
gentlemen remember when Oko got banned out of Standard and people kept buying it? Like even more because they're like, well, now's the time to
yeah.
buy
All
it
the
'cause
Standard
price is
players
so
are
small."
dumping the cards. Those morons. We're gonna pick them all up. Yeah. And then it gets banned in Modern, and then it gets banned in Legacy. Yeah. And it gets... Is it restricted in Vintage? No, I don't think it's restricted. But...
No.
It's like definitely one of the most banned cards ever, though.
Yeah,
Sure.
good riddance. Do you think Lantern would play Oko? I think Lantern would play Oko. That's.
If it was the only deck that could play Oko, then yes, it would play Oko.
I mean, there was like Simic Food Prison or something, wasn't there? Like there were Chalice decks.
No,
that
I
were...
played that deck. The Simic, with
Yeah.
Emery and shit.
Yeah.
And
Yes, and the
what was
Goose.
it?
You ran the Goose.
The Goose,
'Cause it was an
yeah,
artifact.
and the lock with Cryptic Command and that other card that I forget the name of. Mystic Sanctuary. Yeah.
All right, because that was
Oh,
in
yeah.
Drunville Train
I-
too.
I remember the days of Mystic Sanctuary blue-white control with 5 minutes fairy. That was awesome.
Dude, that was the shit. When
So-
when everything worked out well, like everything came up Millhouse for you in those days, like that was better than sex.
All right, so
Lynn.
that's a land. Or what do we think are the opponents on? By the way, we had no conclusions, right? Like maybe Tamio. Maybe
I
blue-red.
think- My bet is that maybe it's Domain and they just forgot to reveal Companion.
Okay.
Temur with Renin 6, Narset, and Tamio.
Okay, because
My
yeah,
bad,
I
come on,
couldn't
please.
couldn't figure out what they were playing. Ketria Triumph is the one Triumph that nobody plays, so I was like, I don't know.
Creativity of
that's
some
the-
sort?
That's the Temur Triumph, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I actually play a deck that uses 4 of those. Temur Reclamation.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
think
All
it's
right. You're in the right ballpark. Okay. So. Yeah, so I probably should have gotten some vibes that it is just a Temur deck, because if you're playing Domain, you don't run Ketria Triumph. Because like the shock land that pairs with this is Godless Shrine. To get all 5 colors to get Domain. So like they're probably not, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So,
Dude, remember those wreck decks? Those were
Oh,
some shit.
so it's Scapeshift!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense. There's actually
Shapeshift.
there's a bunch
Oh,
of Temur
hell yeah.
Scapeshift running around right now. They're running the
really?
Planar Genesis, the new blue-green instant that you can dig 4 cards deep and like fish a land out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, I can see it being really good. And then you run Flare of Cultivations. So
I see it.
Oh.
yeah.
Sacrifice a Coiling Oracle to a Flare of Cultivation feels
Yes.
real good.
Yes. Yeah, and there's the Coiling Oracle right there. So
Oh, there
Yeah.
it is. Oh my god.
yep. So this deck is terrifying. for Lantern. I like there's any like even the lands are scary, right? So I had no idea what I looked at this and I'm like, oh no, what do I take? I was like, I took the Scapeshift. Yeah, I'm like that
Yeah,
one
I
is
think
going to
it's
kill me if it doesn't get out of their hands. So. Yeah, Scapeshift went away. But yeah, I was not happy. Like
I can see a path forward versus this deck, but it's not fun.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard.
there's a lot of assumptions that need to be made to get there.
Well, you have the combo right now, right? Yeah, yeah. Oh, and you're gonna surgical the scape shift.
So I
Oh,
hold
this
on to
also don't
surgical
think
for
it's
now.
Yeah, don't surgical. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, not yet.
so let them
I
have
think
the
it's
stomping
a
ground.
pre-recording, so it's like us yelling at the TV. Oh man, I really need the Colts to win so I can get my money.
Run the ball, you idiots! Why did you pass? Yeah.
The killer's behind you. You
So
fuck.
Oh, nice.
I found a Valakut.
Beautiful. So if they
Take that.
flare,
Valakut.
Yeah, which they
they
flare.
flare, you mill in response.
Yep.
Yeah,
And they concede immediately.
Oh man.
So
that's
that
good.
went from horrendous, terrifying, I don't know what's going to happen this game to I have a surgical on top and they have a Valakut I can mill, and the game was over. It was great. That was turn 3.
Yeah, I was about to.
No, that was turn 2.
Yeah.
That was turn
And to
2.
win, take those.
Yeah, I take those. So it's the game 2.
You play surgicals, hey? Like you play a couple.
I run one. I added
okay.
one to the list at the last minute because I was tinkering with the list and I had like 58 cards in Mainboard. I was gonna run the Extract the Truth, the 2-mana discard spell that makes your opponent sack an enchantment as a mode. And then I'm like,
Oh.
yeah, it's 2-mana discard. That I can't do that. Feed the Swarm is probably just better in the sideboard. And so I put in a surgical. I'm like, I still want like extra, like I'm running an 8th discard spell in here too, like Mainboard. So, you know, I have a way to get things in the graveyard. I am still running 2 Pixis though.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
So yeah, Vexing Bauble's actually pretty good against their Flare of Cultivation plan.
Yeah.
It slows them down quite a bit. Yeah, so I'm happy with this hand.
Yeah.
Do they still play Search for Tomorrow?
I don't think their list is running it because the Flare of
Yeah.
Cultivation's there instead. I
Yeah,
think
just
that
a
has to
strictly better
replace it.
card under most circumstances as well.
And they have like turn 1, turn 2 plays that they make, like with Arboreal Grazers and the Coiling Oracles. So it would compete
fair.
for the early turns. But yeah, like I've played against this team or Scapeshift in the tourney practice. Yeah. So turn 1 Valakut, they learned their lesson. I can't surgical that one. I said, okay, that's
Before
fine.
Ghost Quarter. Oh.
Have a Vexing Bauble.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Dude, I've been trying to stuff Ghost Quarter into my list. I just can't figure out where to put it.
Yeah.
In the deck.
Yeah. So they get
Your
the
first card.
So on the downside, if this game goes long, I am absolutely screwed. However, they're going to
honestly,
take forever to do anything with turn 1, turn 2.
I think the correct play here on turn 1 was the Shredder.
You think so?
Yes, because you know they're not playing a Flare Cultivation on turn 2. Because they don't have a Coiling Oracle.
They could still have Arboreal Grazer. So I was
True.
still concerned. Like, if they had Valakut, like, the way that they win is they ramp up to it really fast.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
But, okay, well, why would you want the Shredder turn 1? I'll
to
hear your
blind
case.
mill them as quickly as possible. Eventually, they're going to run out of mountains.
Aren't they like a 27 land deck?
I have legitimately done that like many times. And
Nah,
like
you
I've been
know
playing
what?
land
I
for a
can
long
see it.
time, so like I've done that a lot.
Oh, that's true. They run fetches. They run a lot of fetches, and they're a 3-color list, so they'll probably have a ton of fetches. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. All right. Well, that's a tidbit of information that's useful to know in the
Listen,
I
future.
still would have done
Necromentia.
one Vexing Ball, but the blind milling with Shredder is actually like really strong. Like don't
That makes
sleep
sense.
on that.
Yeah, I think in hindsight, yeah, you're probably right because they could have You're right. They could have done the.
I
Grazer.
I was not expecting them to play a second Valakut. That was threw me for a loop. Like that went from that hand is probably pretty good to I don't know if they even should have kept this. Like this is so slow on their part. But so we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
Now you kill them with Saga Construct, right?
That becomes the plan. Yeah, that's a
Spoiler.
slight spoiler, but that becomes the main goal. So I'm just
Oh,
gonna
you
collect the
discarded
Dude, I
Bauble.
haven't seen this episode yet. Why'd you fucking spoil it?
Did you just discard the Bauble for the 2 life?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I actually against double Valakut it does nothing. You're right. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I think my thinking was that if you get to 22 life, then you can tank an extra Valakut, but if they're going to be Valakutting in pairs, it doesn't matter.
So flare, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. I take the flare. That was
Was
the
that
option.
What was that? Was that a Grazer in hand? I can't read.
Yes, that is an Arboreal Grazer,
Oh, okay.
Steam Vents Mountain, a One Ring, and then a basic Island, which is not going to help them with their Valakut plans, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, their canned keep was wild. They have no green mana for their Flare or their Arboreal Grazer. I guess they run a lot of green lands, but still, like...
They'll draw into it eventually.
Alright.
Oh my god, surgical extraction.
Ooh.
So I actually mess up with the surgical here. I forgot the if you pay 2 life, then the
Oh,
Vexing
no.
Bauble counters it. So just be prepared for that.
Well,
I just have to disclose my punts ahead of time, so they're gonna run out of One Ring. Which happens. That occurs.
They're gonna draw a card with that as well. That's crazy.
I hate when that happens. Yeah.
Dude,
So
I hate
yeah.
when that happens.
So end step I try and surgical their Flare of Cultivation and it gets countered because of course it does. That's how the card works. That's what Vexing Bauble is good for. This is thankfully the only time that I punt with Vexing Bauble.
I
But-
learned real quick.
Yeah. Well, I don't normally
Disruptor.
learn that quick, so that's good. But at least these constructs are going to keep getting big. So
Yeah. Needle.
just swing with a construct
lantern.
just to send a message.
Oh, you have. Okay.
yeah, so I drew the Disruptor Flute. So I just figured, like, yeah, they're going to draw like 2 cards, but like, I want to make sure that they can't interact with these construct tokens. Because if I have a second Urza Saga as well, that's 4 constructs. That's a scary amount of constructs, and they're out of Valakut range. Like they're far away from Valakut. Sorry, they can still kill these constructs if they can manage to ping with Valakut because there's 2 of them. But that's still
Not
scary
allowed
for
to
them.
Draw green mana, so.
Yeah.
Well, I
There's
mean, they might if they ring for it.
yeah they're gonna draw it eventually, but like the endurance costs
goes.
2 green, right? So
I like to think that.
Yep.
I like to think that everyone who loses against you in these leagues is just like cursing out Ristic Studies every day.
there's a face. Yeah, they have a dartboard with the owl. They just like just throw knives at it.
You don't really need to do much here, do you?
Did
I
I-
guess they did play an Arboreal Grazer.
Did I forget to swing with this construct token?
No, they had protection.
Oh right, yeah, they had.
had,
Okay, good.
protection.
That makes sense. Aha! I was paying
Are they
attention to
about
this
to get
game.
protection again?
Yes,
that's
they are going to buy another turn, which is unfortunate, but
Oh,
Boys,
come on,
I think
back
the
up,
One
back up.
Ring is the real Ensnaring Bridge. All is said and done.
Oh, I think we should have milled that EI in response to the ring trigger, though.
yes, I should have. Yeah, I did notice that immediately after the trigger went on the stack. Well, so when One Ring was on the stack, I should have milled the Expressive Iteration. By the time that the One Ring hit the table, they would have just drawn it in response anyway. So I just
true.
I just let
Yeah,
it
you're
go.
right.
So yeah, when it was on the stack, I should have done it. But at that point, I'm like, I might as well just make them force. So like, if they're just gonna draw it anyway, I'll just not mill them. I'll make them do it themselves. So yeah, Disruptor Flute. I would have really
Wow,
loved an
they
extra
didn't tap in
construct.
response.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't know why, but so I do get to mill the expressive iteration. Which
Well,
is
it
nice.
makes sense that they didn't tap in response, I guess, because they're not going to be able to play another ring to reset it. So they're going to take extra damage every turn.
Oh yeah, that could have been a conscious decision then. You're right. Yeah. All right. I was really confused why they did that, but um, but yeah, and actually,
Probably,
the Disruptor Flute makes it cost 7 now too.
I probably would have swung in anyway, just hoping that they forgot about their protection and blocked.
That's a good point. The sloth isn't gonna do anything. But, yeah, that's fair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you have an extra lantern.
Yeah, I had a second lantern, so I made him shuffle. I mean, I don't like at least the Coiling Oracle only looks 1 card deep, so they can have that. It does chump block, which is annoying, but like I can handle that.
Yeah, Dryad's okay here.
So
Is this,
yeah, Dryads. Well, so Dryad gets them a lot closer to starting these Valakut pings, so that does scare me
Oh, that's true.
because they're so far away from that. Right? Oh, they have 3 mountains right now on the table.
Right, because Valakut's not a mountain itself, and that
Yep.
would basically give them 3 more mountains. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
fair.
it really felt bad to give them the Dryad, but I would have had to crack my last lantern to do that.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of figured, like, these construct tokens are 6/6s. This turn I can make them 7/7s. So with each land, they can't kill a construct. They need multiple land drops to kill the constructs. So
And even then, do they really want to be doing it to the construct?
yeah, exactly. So it felt like to me that it made sense to just keep the lantern, avoid the rest of the chump blockers for the rest as much as possible, and just duck my head down and keep bashing the constructs into them and see what happens.
You make another construct here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 8/8 then.
Yes.
Big
7/7s. Yeah,
boys.
these guys get fucking huge. So this is something I should mention as well.
Oh, nice.
I
Nine
have-
nines.
I have no plan against Valakuts once they're on the table. So I left in the cookbook because if my opponent only has 1 Valakut on the table, then I can, like, if they're making 1 land drop per turn, I can at least stabilize.
Yeah.
So I left in the cookbook.
Maybe
that's
the.
fair.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry. Maybe the game plan should actually just be rely on those construct tokens, side out all the bridges, and eventually you're gonna have to. They're gonna force chump blocks even against the cards that like let them win.
So I don't think this list runs Primeval Titans. So I think you're right. I don't even think the bridges make sense in this specific situation because they're not going to win with combat damage.
You
I
can slow
was
them down enough
assuming,
so they don't ramp as well.
yeah, I was assuming they were running Primeval Titans, so I kept in the bridges. But yeah, if they're not running
Pithing
Titans,
Shift is mostly green as well.
yeah, and like if they're on Scapeshift, like up until very recently, like Primeval Titan was like the next card to go in after Scapeshift Valakut. Like that's the 3rd card you reach for, right? So but nowadays that's not true anymore. So I'd have to see what Temur Scapeshift is running before I make that judgment call. But yeah, if they're not running Titans anymore, then yeah, I take out the bridges 100%.
Yeah, maybe
Makes-
just leave 1 in just in case you get fucking silly bugged and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Upseas Creek and
yeah,
Little
that's true.
Moms.
Yeah, or like maybe 2. I think 2 is a nice number to have. Well, I'm running Whir. I could run 1.
yeah. You're only running the 3 bridge, right?
I'm running 4 bridges in this list.
Okay.
I was running 4 Whir, 3 bridges, but now that I've cut it down to 3 Whirs, like I was mostly doing Whir of Invention for Ensnaring Bridge anyways, so why not just have a bridge?
Yeah.
So that was the idea. But yeah, cookbook here is actually really nice because instead of gaining me life, it's going to beef up the constructs even more. Cookbook on the offensive.
I think,
So
I feel
yeah,
like it's you, or if that's something else. Oh, we're all good.
they're gonna
Ooh,
flare.
oh.
So
Wait a second.
now these lands are going to start, or Valakut's online. So because the Dryad is on the table.
I just realized something.
What's that?
You haven't activated Windows yet.
I got a hardware update, or I upgraded like everything in my computer a couple months ago. And I think it was too much of a shock for my Windows activation. So now it says that I have a hardware malfunction in my license, and there's no remedy to it apparently unless I like call Microsoft or something.
Windows uses hardware ID.
You gotta like call Bill Gates
Yeah.
and shit.
So yeah, and the Windows account that I used on this was my ex-fiance's. So or to get all the like Microsoft Office applications because I didn't have those. So I have to talk to her to even log in to the admin account that's tied to the Windows on this computer, which is a whole other thing. And I
Did
just
you leave on good terms?
yeah, we left on good terms. So I could
Okay.
Okay.
so I did ask
been
her for
worse.
it. Yeah, I could have been worse. But so yeah, but the price of me doing nothing or like avoiding that whole headache is to have a watermark for the rest of time.
I mean,
Nah,
you
man.
can just.
I mean,
Pretty sure there's
Oh, you go ahead.
a thing in the registry that you can change to get rid of the watermark.
Yeah, I'm sure that I can like go to some
delete the graphic.
could
for the
also-
wall.
some programming
like-
subreddit and just ask him how to get rid of the activate Windows thing.
You could also just pay like $15 for a Windows key.
Is it $15?
Yeah, but we got leagues to play.
Yeah. That's
True.
yeah, that $15 is 1.5 league entries, and as we've established, I have not been winning those.
Yeah,
So
so
that
You
money
can
is not.
purchase like so it's
That just means
$15
it's a
if
good
you
investment
purchase.
to get rid of the watermark.
Is it a subscription? Is it if it's a subscription, I'm gonna explode. I'm not.
No. It's
okay.
$15 if you purchase from like surplus codes.
Okay. All right. I
from,
might
like,
have to look at that
businesses and
then.
Stuff.
Yeah. I might have to take a look
did
at that.
So
that reminds me
let's
of the
see,
time
why
where,
did they? Do
oh,
they
please
have
go
another
ahead.
land in hand?
They have a Flare of Cultivation. Yeah, they have a land in hand because they tutored it with Flare of Cultivation. I should.
Oh,
add that.
okay.
Yeah. So
Right.
they're gonna just try and
You're
blow up
leaving
the
Five,
constructs.
7, 8.
Yeah, like literally any
Fine.
land at all is like really hard to beat as well. Wait, why didn't you just Underworld Cookbook in response?
Because
It'll
it'll make it
still
a
die.
9/9. It's that they're 8/8s right now. The cookbook will make a
Oh.
food and it'll become yeah. Yeah, good
So
thinking
it
though.
doesn't make a difference.
That could have
Yeah.
been relevant. Yeah. So I did do it on end step, but it didn't matter here. So
You know, I'm really surprised. I haven't seen a single Kyber, not Kyber, Kappa Cannoneer in leagues yet.
yeah, I've seen it in the
Yeah.
tourney practice, but
Yeah.
Mm.
I've only played 2 leagues though since Modern Horizons dropped. So or no, that's
I
not
have
true.
played
3
leagues,
leagues.
but not with Lanterns, so I feel a bit ashamed to even be in this Discord server. in a way.
No, it's fine. I haven't played Lantern in like the past 3 FNMs.
It's good for an FNM, but like the leagues
for
is like
for
what
an
if you play
admin.
I
Look,
feel like
That's
FNMs are good.
betrayal.
You can play
so
Lantern in an FNM.
the week before last week was MH3 pre-release.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Last week I was playing Esper because I had 2 Tamios.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to do it, I guess. I mean, you kind of had no choice when you think about it.
Also, oh wait, no, I played
Wait.
Lantern. So it's been 2 weeks since I've played Lantern. Sorry, not 3.
Wow, that's some pussy shit, dude.
Well, it's been so the last time I played Lantern in an event was before the Theory ban.
Oh wow.
Okay,
went
we've been
4-0
playing
though.
leagues is the thing. I have no excuse.
So I drew a Collective Brutality last turn. I opted instead of casting the Codex Shredder to pump up the constructs to just do an extra mode on the Collective Brutality and drain them for 2.
Sending a message.
I figured that at the least having them at a lower life total guaranteed. Well, I guess that would be guaranteed right now. I guess it was to send a message. I don't know. It heals me too. Actually, I'm at 17 life, so this does put me above Valakut threshold. So it does buy me an extra turn. Or an extra, was it 6? They need 4 lands now to kill me instead of 3. That was why. It's because I gained 2 life.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, they had a
have
Scapeshift in hand.
Yeah,
That's a good reason to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so they have 2 endurances, a pick your poison, and they had escape shift. That could have gone very poorly. So I'm really glad
yeah.
that I picked the collective brutality.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Ooh,
Whoa,
that's
but,
a tough one. Was
so-
there
yeah.
a school of thought for like maybe 20 or 30 minutes where people were like, in this server, were like, we should play Pick Your Poison main.
Why?
Because I'm better than you.
There's like a
But you-
Amulet Titan meme about that.
I'd rather play Nature's Claim.
Yeah, Nature's Claim is just like you don't care about flyers in
They can't
Lantern.
Fly over bridge.
You can
Yeah.
make them
Like a
sack
dumbass.
cameo.
I was
to
gonna
be
say
a-
like, no, dude. For a second, I was like, "Oh, why don't we care about flyers?" I was like, "Yeah, because we play 4 Ensnaring Bridges."
Yeah, so the flyer sacrifice mode is irrelevant on Pick Your Poison, and Nature's Claim, like their life total is irrelevant. So Nature's Claim's downside is non-existent.
Yeah.
And it's an instant as well. You get
Oh,
those
they
those
can
bonus
play
points.
2 endurances to chump block you.
Yeah, so that's their plan. They have 4 green sources, so they
Yeah,
can.
that's not a winning line. That's just a
No.
not losing line.
It is not, and that is why they concede because
Alright.
because they can see the top card of their library. They know it's not going
Yeah.
to do anything. So yeah, this was a 2-0 against Valakut against all odds. Because I don't even have Assassin's Trophy to interact with the Valakuts themselves.
No,
So
yeah, that's not something you have.
yeah,
under
this
the,
this
green
this
black
was very confusing to me. But yeah, Surgical came in clutch.
Oh yeah.
I'm really happy that one Surgical. Alright, there's one more game. It's
Now,
one
how are
more.
you boys doing about Shuko decks? Like with the
Needle is
what's
great.
his face? The
Yeah,
Needle's good.
Needleless Shuko.
Nadu, yeah. Nadu does nothing if they have nothing to target it with. So just
I'm gonna sell my Shukos
So-
today. Actually, that's I have to go out later to sell them.
You
I'm
needle the
serious.
Shuko. You needle the Encore thing, the 3-mana white one,
Yeah.
the Encore.
Yep.
yeah.
And then
You play a bridge.
yeah, I guess.
And then you just make sure you don't have any cards in hand because they will have like 20 insects.
And don't let them have
That's true.
the fastest Oracle.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah. You just make sure
So
that you mill with
Necromancer's
tosses.
pretty good in that matchup then.
Wow,
Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah,
I
it
put
can
3
be.
in my sideboard.
They are pretty fast, so you might not even get to the Necromancer point, but it's like Amulet Titan, where it's like you run them anyway in case they don't have the nuts right away, right?
Yeah.
If they're
And
slow
you
enough.
Use a lot of discard, hopefully. This hand looks really nice, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
It's a good hand.
remember
hand's
when
sick.
Jund decks back in the day used to play like they used to splash blue so they could play Uro, or they used to splash blue
Uh,
so they could play
Treasure Cruise.
Oko
Oh.
and Treasure Cruise. Yeah. So they're doing it again with Nadu as well. The Jund
Oh
decks,
my god.
they're splashing blue so they can play Nadu.
Uh-oh, that's a bad indicator on a card's power.
Yeah,
It's a 3/4 flyer.
three-mana-
Yeah.
It's a 3-mana Simic thing. Of course, it's gonna be the broken one. Like I think Marrow's obligated to make one now every set.
oh,
there's
this is the mono black, isn't it?
yeah, my opponent's playing a mono black list. I was
Yeah,
expecting it to be
100%.
coffers, but it's like mono black
Oh.
value pile.
Decks
Oh.
that Fatal
It's like
Push
Scam.
is a meme.
Yeah, we'll play against that all day.
So,
Oh, never
No,
mind.
yeah, no grief allowed.
Oh, golly gee, I wonder what their Urza Saga is going to tutor.
Imagine if they pull out a Shuko. Mono black Nadu splash. They run the Cascading Cataracts just for Nadu.
Oh,
I
fuck.
mean, they do have a polluted Delta in hand.
That's true.
You're
That's
just-
true.
Looking for a bridge.
What is that? Flare of Malice. What does that one do?
Sack the creature with the highest power.
As creature or planeswalker with the
Oh.
greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's useless. It is textless. Unless
Knock
you're
on
going for
wood here, but this is looking like a buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
I know
this
that
felt
Urza
good.
Saga.
At least game one, this is a free roll. This is looking good. That Nethergoyf is not very big right now. I'm not inclined to grow it. They have to do that themselves.
I like how you're talking about the match like you didn't just play this like a moment ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. They shuffled away that thing for you.
It's like if they
Yeah.
were like you're a TV actor and we're watching the episode you were just in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I wonder what happened.
I get to live in the bizarro world where I get to watch myself play this game. Yeah, it's great.
You just like laugh at your own mistakes, like, huh, shouldn't have done that.
I forget. I have no memory. Yeah, at all. So yeah, like Thinker's been in replay analyses before with me, and like I'll speculate on what I thought I did, and then I'll just do the exact opposite thing, even though it happened like 6 hours ago. Like,
Yeah, I did the same thing. Yeah.
You got the lantern memory, man. You didn't have to know it unless it like, mattered to a bridge.
Lantern is a state of meditation. Okay, it is
really
a
is.
different world. I don't need to remember anything.
Dude, when I was like big into Lantern back when it was like really good, like with Mox Opal and shit, I remember like I couldn't play any fucking deck other than Lantern.
Yeah,
It does change your thinking. Like you're playing a different game.
yeah.
I mean, that is pretty much accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still to this day can't play anything other than Lantern and KCI.
Like you open a booster pack and you're like immediately looking at the trash commons thinking, ah.
If it's
I
not a new
wonder."
if it's not a new thought
No,
season,
I
it doesn't
called
mill a
out.
card for 1 mana. I don't want to hear it. Yeah.
You're like looking at what's that card called? The shrieking the one black, like it's the duress effect, but you
Actually,
have to
hold
exile a
on.
card out of your hand unless you took a black
Oh,
card.
the one from Throne of Eldraine?
Yeah, I
That's
remember
the
that
one,
one.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like Shrieking
I remember
Spectre.
opening
Oh,
that.
Spectre Shriek, yeah.
Yeah, my lantern brain was like, huh.
Hold on.
It's a shit card.
You just activated a light bulb. I took a break from Modern for like 5 or 6 years, and I was in I was out of town, and I went to a magic shop to draft for the first time in a few years in paper. I was so excited. It was Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
Oh, no, that's a good one.
And one of the things that popped into my mind while I went into that set blind and got like 2-sided cards with like full text on both sides. It was a really bad set to draft blind. But I need to find, there was a 1-mana blue Millrock, and I immediately saw it and thought, wow, this would be great in Lantern, but it says you mill a card. What's it called? I'll pull it up here. Yeah, wait.
I
remember
often
when
joke with
people
my
were talking
buddies
about-
that. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Remember when people were talking about Millennium Calendar as a win con?
Oh
yeah.
shit, yeah, Millennium Calendar. Holy
I
fuck.
remember Millennium Calendar.
Waterlogged Hulk, this was it. I was like, I wonder.
Oh yeah, it's you mill a card.
Yeah.
And then you
Aw.
craft with.
I saw that and I was like, huh, that would be a cool lantern piece, just in passing. And then I
It's a
remember
vehicle.
actively getting sad.
Oh, it's not legal in Pauper though. That sucks.
Yeah, it's an uncommon, but
Ah.
yeah, I mean, like,
I remember. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
it's not great, but like, I don't know. New Codex Shredder dropped, I thought, but
Dude, yeah, it's like changed my thinking. Like I'm the lantern guy among my magic pals, and
Yeah.
I remember once, like I think it was right after not Javier Dominguez, but the second guy to win the world champion. And he got a card named after him. We were all like speculating, like, oh, I wonder what card you'd have named after you, or like what card you'd design if you could pick one. And I was like, my card is called 2 Pithing Needles, and you get to name 2 cards, but it's Pithing Needle, and it costs 2. Right? And you name 2 cards, and they can't be activated. Even the mana abilities, fuck them, right?
That might be a little strong.
2 Phyrexian Revokers.
It costs 4 mana. It's a 4/2. 2 Phyrexian Revoker.
Yeah.
It's 8
Big
fucking
Phyrexian
I mean,
Phyrexian
It would be like, I mean, like Phyrexian it's Phyrexian. I mean, they do just saw things in half and stitch them together. Like that's very on brand. So that would work.
Wait, if you're gonna legitimately do this, then it's gotta be 2 fucking Phyrexian Revokers. And it's just gotta be
Fucking
the art for Phyrexian Revokers that copied over itself.
With
And then,
with
what's
the flavor text.
text?
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dot. So you can side this against KCI, yes?
Yes. Just
Nah,
name
it was like it
KCI
was pretty
twice.
funny. Yeah, name KCI. Fuck it, right? You may as well. You're not doing anything.
Zero mana artifact. KCI can't be activated. There you go. That is what goes on like MTG Cardsmith, right? Like that's just or
No,
some
but,
proxy card
I
site.
I pitched 2 Pithing Needles to Custom Magic and it got removed. Yeah. Because
Disgrace.
it wasn't like enough of a joke to say it was a joke and it wasn't.
They
So-
named Grixis.
They named Codex Shredder.
Oh,
So my
Yeah.
opponent, I think, has played against Lantern enough where they know what to Pithing Needle correctly. I did Codex
Well,
Shredder
how many
before
decks?
the saga went off, so I actually saw this ahead of time. I felt smart.
How many cards do they have in library? 49?
They have
Yeah, you
49.
lose the game.
So,
You-
but they will still fetch and stuff. They have a Takenuma here.
yeah.
So like
Or-
the game's not over, but
Yeah, you can fix this stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
well,
swamp!
Hey.
The swamp of
yeah.
shame.
yeah, the swamp's gone. Don't want the swamp. They have Urborg too, so the swamp is useless.
Oh, so you
Um,
did draw a swamp in a way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Good point.
that's
Good point.
weird.
Touche. So what I think what the point is that like they have 47 cards in library, I have 44. Pixis never changes the parity there. So as long as my opponent just like draws a card and passes and does nothing else, it is on me to figure out how to make them get down to less cards in library.
Otawara their needle and then Duress it.
Yeah. So that would be my goal is to Otawara and Duress. Yeah, exactly. But they still have to make me do it. So
And if your big boys are big enough, or if their big boys are big enough and they're girthy enough, then they won't be able to fit under the bridge. And that's why we all like those big girthy boys. Wait, I was gay for a minute. Oh no, yeah, nearly got me.
Hey
Nearly
man,
got me.
there's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
but yeah, they saw the bridge. I think they just needed to wait to see that I could Ensnaring Bridge,
Oh.
and they conceded here. So
Oh, nice.
Wait, they mustn't have considered it. The angle that you were gonna deck first, perhaps.
yeah, well, I mean, there are 46 versus 43 cards in the deck. Do they really want to sit there and go one card at a time and find out?
Yeah, man, I love playing 3-card blind with entire decks.
47 card blind.
Who's ahead
No,
on
that's
time?
the new one. That's the new one. You 47 card blind. That's the new shit.
Can you imagine being the judge for 47 card blind?
Oh,
I don't like to, no.
All right. So,
yeah.
hello, Ashiok. Yeah, this hand's pretty good. I like it.
Love that Ashiok.
Yeah.
Ashiok's pretty good here.
I am worried about the Dothy Voidwalkers.
Oh.
So Codex Shredder's gone. They really don't
Oh,
like
yeah.
Codex Shredder. That is
Yeah.
the one motif in this game, is that they absolutely loathe Codex Shredder. If they have an
Love-
opportunity to nuke a Codex Shredder, they do it every time.
I'd really love for Wizards to print a new artwork for Codex Shredder. I think
They
that would be
did.
really good.
Um,
Did they?
There's-
Yeah,
Oh,
it
did
was
they do a
printed
second
in the
view?
Hit Boy set.
Yeah, if you like Fallout with the.
Oh,
Pip
hold
Boy,
on, hold on.
that's
Wait, they
the-
made a Fallout art Codex Shredder?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks hideous.
Oh wow! Oh, that's not good.
I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on, Grease.
Yeah, that's that fucking sucks, man.
Oh, it's a
Upsetting.
secret layer. Oh no.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm gonna buy 2 of them. One foil,
And the
one
other-
non-foil.
And you're gonna
The other
whiteboarder
two
it.
are, like all good.
Oh yeah, whiteboarder would be fine actually. I if this isn't whiteboarder, I would approve of it.
Like the flavor behind Codex Shredder is like it's a shredder.
I wonder how they decided
Well,
that
that's the Shredder.
Codex Shredder was the card to put in the secret layer.
Oh,
I guess
so you should check out the other secret lair that was for Fallout. It had like fucking what was it? It was like Trinisphere, Grand Arbiter Augustine the Fourth. It was like
Those-
Oh
those-
yeah, I found
like-
it. I
like-
found it, bro.
the last two are commander cards. I could see it.
Stasis Orb.
Trinisphere, Winter Orb, Sphere of Resistance,
Oh wow.
Arbiter, and
Oh hell
Mana
yeah.
Vault.
All right.
Weirdly enough.
All right. So the Commander Pain section. That's
Yeah, so Mana Vault was like a random chance thing. For the bonus card, just like how they did a Miku Snapcaster Mage.
They did a what?
Hatsune Miku Snapcaster.
that's right. I
Mage.
saw Hatsune Miku entered Magic, and I was like, the world is ending. That's like,
Oh, nice. The Vexing Bauble comes
Oh,
in.
man. Like
Oh, that's
my
great.
wife
Vexing Bauble.
actually likes Hatsune Miku, and she was like, "That's, I feel like that doesn't fit." And I was like, "I agree." The harmonize is fine. I have nothing wrong with the harmonize though.
so yeah, this is all small things at this point. The Soul Guide Lantern took the not dead after all that I thought seized away earlier, just because I figured that they run less instants and sorceries, so Netherglyph
Right.
is still smaller.
I think that Vexing Bauble is very important here, though,
Um,
because the Voidwalker.
that is true. Yes, it does stop the Voidwalker. I don't think at this point there's anything like they care about stealing discard effects, but everything else in the deck, like they don't really care about stealing.
They did not draw a second black source.
No, they did spike a Pithing Needle though, which is a little sad. Oh, that's right. This is the one time they didn't name Codex Shredder. They named it Urza Saga, which I was actually very unhappy to see.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like they have an Urza Saga, but like they're having mana problems. And yeah, that was gonna be my pseudo bridge was Saga token. So that was a good call on their part. I ran out the Ashiok despite the creature pressure just so I could blank the Saga tutor trigger.
Yeah. And it gains you life.
So yeah, exactly, because they're gonna be busy fighting the Ashiok. Yeah, so I have 2 redraws on the table, but it sucks because the Bowmasters is on the table. So it increases their clock if I pop either of these.
Oh, they affect you.
Yeah, they did the first time. They do eventually move to Ashiok, but... So I'm not really sure what to grab with that Urza Saga.
Oh, nice.
And I figured when in doubt, I'd just grab a Lantern.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, this list only runs 3 of them, so drawing them naturally is not super standard.
Can I ask you gentlemen a question? Why aren't we running the big 4 Khan anymore?
It's too expensive, mana-wise.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So, like, you...
CMC.
Like, this game's gonna be a bad example, because I flood out pretty hard here. But, like, when you were playing... Or when we were watching, like, those Scapeshift games, for example, when I had those 8/8 constructs, I had 2 lands. Because the Sagas sacrifice themselves. So playing Warkarn is a massive investment, and you cannot assume that you're going to get it on turn 4.
And if you think about it, like if you're playing 4 mana Karn, really you play 4 mana sorcery speed, and then you minus it to get probably a bridge if you put one in your side, and then they kill Karn, and then you have to wait to play bridge next turn. So it's basically the same thing as a Mastermind's Inquisition or Mastermind's Acquisition.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
gain
yeah.
3.
Yeah.
It's already like kind of a win more in a way as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. The game is going to be determined by turn 4, probably. The Karn isn't going to change that most of the time. I will concede that if there is a very heavy artifact-activated ability meta running around, like Lantern, like for if Lantern takes off for just hypothetically, then like having a 1 of Karn might be an interesting choice, just because then you shut off like the static ability is relevant, but just the wish board is not very useful for Karn on here. Like I'd rather just board in the stuff game 2 and then Whir for it. Whir is my Karn.
Is that why I'm also not seeing a lot of mono green Tron running around at the moment?
Mono green Tron. So
They're playing with Eldrazi right now.
Yeah, if you look at the in the what's it called, the resources section in the Discord, it's linked.
Yeah.
There's this French Discord, and every once in a while they do data on the metagame, and they show win rates of all the decks and whatnot. And mono green Tron has consistently been like below 50% win rate
Oh wow.
average against the metagame. So I think the only reason people are still playing mono green Tron is because they've always played mono green Tron.
Yeah, but I already have the cards,
Yeah,
father.
exactly.
Come on, man. Fuck this, dude.
I already got like all the mismatched Tron art to tilt my opponent.
Oh,
Like, what else am I gonna do?
crap, you sacked your Bauble.
Yes, I did sack the Bauble. So I'm not sure if the Dalthy Voidwalker value is that high, or like it. What are they gonna steal from this deck that I care about? Like maybe discard, but I'm in top deck mode, right?
Why not push the dude first?
Push the dude first.
Yeah,
Oh, fatal push.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do it right now.
Because if you
They're
push
gonna
it
steal your
before,
cards, right?
Oh, this was on top of my library. I had to draw this. So what I should have done here, admittedly, I could have
Oh, I
waited
see.
a turn. I could have waited a turn,
Yeah.
drawn this naturally, then I could have just Orcish Bowmastered. I don't know why I
Okay.
popped the lantern to do this, or the Vexing Bulb to do this right now. That was silly. Because now that I just gave him a 2/2 for free. Yeah. And I didn't think about it, but they had a Bloodstain Mire on the top of their deck that I let them draw, and they can't crack it because the Ashiok is here.
Yeah.
So they're actively trying to kill Ashiok now because they cannot play 2-drops until Ashiok is gone. Yeah. That was a
Now
mistake on my part.
Probably time to crack that.
Yeah, now I can crack this. But yeah, I could have cracked both of these, and this Orc Army token would have still been a 1/1.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Ashiok would have had the same number of counters on it. So
Yeah, and it probably would have bought you like a lot of time.
yeah, so Ashiok's going to die, so I just minus Ashiok anyway. May as well. I don't think I see anything too spicy in the. No, I don't see anything interesting in the milled cards. I fled out pretty hard here though. Like I'm
And
drawing
now they're gonna
Thought
be able to
Seizes,
tap their-
Islands.
They'd be able to tap their Mire for black mana now, anyways.
Yeah, and then
Oh man.
yeah, like one Lantern by itself is not going to stop their mana. I have no control over their draw step. I did find a Liliana of the Veil, which was kind of nice. I was able to Thought Seize that away at least.
But Tucking might get it right back.
Yeah. Yeah, so eventually they put together a clock, and then I keep flooding out. So I'm gonna shuffle crack with this Lantern, but that's it. So seeing that Shouldered is nice though. Knowing that they have a Shouldered was valuable information in this game. I should have assumed that they had one, but I didn't really think about it when I boarded last time. So game 3, I will have the cookbook in to answer the Shouldered. But this game, I think I did not board it in. All right, I took it out. Yeah, I took it out game 2. So that was good information. Yeah. Final game. The last one. We can all celebrate.
This is pretty good.
I don't know if I should have left in the surgical.
Yeah, I would.
I was like 50-50 while I was boarding, and then I kind of felt like I wasn't a big fan of it. Like, because I don't really, like, what do I care about in their deck?
Shieldred.
That's true. I could surgical shoulder it, but like I have the cookbook to answer shoulder it, and there can only be one at a time.
Yeah. You could get rid of Sagas.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Sagas I can get rid of.
Or if for no other reason, just to get more info. I'm
Yeah.
assuming you do a turn 1 Vexing Bauble here.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Can't grief you.
Hope so. Yeah. Okay. I do fetch shock for the Watery Grave because I have a turn 3 bridge. I just figured like, yeah, I don't think that the extra 2 life is gonna matter, and I might as well just get closer to Whir. They do Thought Seize away the bridge, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Oh, whoops.
I
Oops,
just
too
realized the
fast.
Bauble means you have to pay mana for, because I was gonna say you could surgical
Mm-hmm.
and then see what their hand is, and then use the flute to disrupt their hand.
Oh, that is, yeah.
But it doesn't work because the Bauble will counter your surgical.
Yeah.
Non-bow.
Yeah, there is some friction sometimes with the Vexing Bauble. I will admit that, but it's a lot of corner cases a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I have liked the Vexing Bauble. I am team Vexing Bauble. But yeah, looking at their hand though, they have a Sheoldred, a Bowmasters, and a Verdant Catacombs. Like none of these pressure me very fast.
Yeah.
So I'm in a good place. And I got to take their Pithing Needle, which they only run one of. I do surgical that later, because I figured they might have two, but nope, they just the one, and then they run a flute as well. So the Saga.
Gentlemen,
Yep.
hate to love you or leave you, but I'm off to sell my Shukos.
All right.
Go do it.
Appreciate
Have a
you
good night,
all.
man.
Getting a lantern. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Saga will grab a lantern. I am a little light on lands, which is concerning to me. Like, I whiffed on a land with this Saga this turn. I would have really loved to have a Construct token. So I am going to crack the Bauble just because I really want a land. really badly. And I think it's fine to grow the Bowmasters at that cost. And I draw a bridge, so I'm rewarded for my risk-taking. And I drew a land. So, never punish, right?
Yeah.
Things got a little dicey there for a second, but now I got...
Don't worry about Sheoldred.
Yeah.
They have a Disruptor Flute.
Yes, they have a Disruptor Flute. Which will, once again, name Codex Shredder. I do remember that.
Well, you could shuffle their library on them right now with the surgical.
Oh, I can do that now. Do I do that? Let's see.
Or mill them.
No, I don't do it. I let them have it.
Oh, no.
So... Yeah,
Why do they?
They added Break the Ice into their deck. they didn't want the
Yeah.
Urza Sagas.
Seems super conditional.
Yeah. But I guess then that way they don't Pithing Needle their own Urza Sagas. I don't know.
So they're stuck on 3 lands.
So they are on mono black, so they may have been looking for things to board out.
Yeah.
Or they had more to board out than they had to board in, and the Break the Ice was just like filler. Because yeah, their Break the Ice does nothing here. I mill myself.
Yeah.
In response to this flute, because they almost always name the Shredder, and sure enough, they named the Shredder. So yeah, this last game goes long, so I'm not gonna harp too much, but the lock is basically assembled. I am just looking for a way, or a cookbook for the children.
Oh, did you surgical? What you surgical?
I surgicaled their Pithing Needle.
Oh, okay.
I figured like they're not gonna run more than one flute, I assume. Well, I guess I can't do anything about it if they do, but yeah. Pithing Needle, like, I looked through their graveyard, and I'm like, this surgical doesn't do anything. I guess I could have named the Urza Saga, but, like, they're gonna search for a Pithing Needle.
Yeah.
So I might as well just take the Pithing Needle. The constructs don't do anything anymore, so I just grabbed the needle. They only had the one. And the only things that I'm scared of after searching their library is that there's a Liliana of the Veil. They boarded in one of their own Ashioks. And, oh yeah, and then I spiked the cookbook here, so I'm not even worried about the shoulders anymore. So it's just good eats for the rest of the... I'll just press play. This game is sealed. They just wanted to play it out the whole way.
Yeah.
They did scoop when they had 2 cards left in library, but... I was a little nervous on how I was gonna get cards out of their library, and then I remembered that I have an Ashiok, and that I was fine. So... I even have a safety spell skite if things go wrong. When games go long, Spellskite is a little annoying because even though Ensnaring Bridge is out, you can still theoretically attack with the Spellskite, so when you auto-pass through your turn, it still waits to ask if you want to attack with the Spellskite. So
you didn't,
I did make fun of my opponent when I was playing against Hammer Time when they didn't attack with their Ornithopters. They never did, but they at least appreciated the sentiment that I called the Ornithopters cowards. Yeah. Just gaining life with the cookbook. Ashiok, yeah. Ashiok's gonna be the thing that wins me the game here. Because
Good
oh
idea,
well, we have
hopefully.
even cards in library actually. That part. I can close this window. But yep, that's just gonna be an easy 20 cards milled or 25 cards that go straight to exile with Ashiok. So even though I can never answer this Disruptor Flute other than with an Otawara, but they can flash it in anyway, so it doesn't matter. We will just slowly go through their deck, one card at a time, with only Pixis of Pandemonium to accommodate for it. I think I had to exile my other Pixis too, so it was dreadfully slow. Because they had an Ashiok. So it's going to be Ashiok versus Pixis. I should have grabbed water before I started this. My throat's dry.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't minus the Ashiok.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it around. Like, when they're at like 6 cards in library, or if I need to emergency mill them or something, then I'll worry about it. But yeah, so I had to exile my own Pixis because I didn't want them to have the Ashiok to start milling me back.
Oh, you could have killed Ashiok there.
What's that?
You could have killed Ashiok.
Oh, did I have the Bloodchief's Thirst?
Wait, I mean,
Yeah.
they might have had enough.
Well, I
of
didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that when I was doing the mill, though. Because I only run one Bloodchief's Thirst, so... If there was way I lose control of this game, it would be from Ashiok suddenly, like, deleting my graveyard and taking 20 cards with it. So...
Do you run the second Pixis?
I do, yeah, but I had to... That was the exiled card. I had to exile it, so...
Oh,
I do run
see.
one
Oh,
Mycosynth Gardens, but I think I also exiled that too, so... So yeah, this is a slow one. They're at 33 life. Children's putting in work.
shows they have single digits in their library now. Is that right?
They have 7 cards now. And I think at this point is when I pop the Ashiok. Yeah. Because I got to see their list with Surgical, so I knew they didn't have anything else going on. Yep, and that was the game.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. And then that's a wrap.
Well, hey, thanks, man.
Yeah. I'll just... That was the sideboard. But yeah.
Oh, you run a Narset on the side, huh?
Yes, I did post the deck list in the Discord if you wanted to take a look at it. Narset is going to be for control mostly. But...
And you entered